coming up. It's Grange School in lane 1, RGS High Wycombe A in lane 2, Norwich Rowing in lane 3, Henley in lane 4 and lane 5, Stratford upon Avon Boat Club in lane 6, American School London in lane 7 and Fulham Reach Boat Club B in lane 8.
Final of the championship single sculls with Seb Paisley in lane 1 from the Grange School, Ben Hines from Royal Grammar School High Wycombe in lane 2, Rowan Baker of Norwich in 3, James Swinburne of Henley in lane 4, another Henley oarsman Grant Taylor in lane 5, Frederick Tyler of Stratford upon Avon in lane 6, Tucker Moran of the American School in lane 7, and Fulham Reach B is represented by Aidan Pierre Huilamera in lane 8. They are sitting on the start and they are all forwards and ready to go, with blades just dipping into the water and waiting for the umpire's signal. The rain has stopped here at the start, but it is still blustery, it is still very overcast and not great conditions to be sculling in, Simon.
No, I think my boat would stay well and truly on the rack in these conditions, certainly at my age. For those of you who don't know, normally in rowing the centre lanes are the favoured lanes, but because of the wind conditions they have redrawn the lanes, so the faster crews are on the side where we are in the commentary car, and the slower crews from the time trials or from the semi-finals are over on the far side nearer the tent. So we would expect, if things go as previous rounds, for the crews on this side of the lake to be the fastest. It's slightly more sheltered from the cross tailwind that we've got today.
Crews are still sitting on the start, these scullers, as I say, just tapping. We can just see the spoons of the blades just bobbing up and down into the water as they hold themselves straight in these conditions. I can't see what it is that's holding up the start. Everything has worked tremendously effectively to plan, but we are 5 minutes late going off for this race, which is, as I say, very unusual. Even when we had a clash and a re-row earlier in the day, the officials managed to get us back on track very effectively with timing. There is something holding things up here at the start. I can just see now somebody walking down one of the pontoons towards the sculler in lane 3, as if there's something that he's about to say, but no, it's gone away again. So it's not a specific problem, or at least not that we can see from where we are. But
Mark, maybe I don't know whether today they're using the traffic light system. I don't know whether they've got a problem with that. Maybe.
Yeah, it seems to me that Rowan Baker of Norwich in lane 3 has come off front stops. The rest of the guys, some of them are still sitting forwards ready to go, but it looks to me as if Rowan Baker there has come off his starting position, and I'm not quite sure what the story is. We're sitting just too far away to be able to see effectively. Certainly me, with my dodgy eyes, I'm not able to see exactly what the detail is there, but there's obviously some kind of an issue that's preventing the race from starting. Oh, they're off now. So there we go, whatever it was has now been solved, and we're into this D final of the championship single sculls. Everybody broke cleanly. Whatever it was that had stopped them from going off on time wasn't a sufficient problem for anybody as the crews broke, and indeed it looks to me like it's Rowan Baker who has set the early pace in lane 3. He's just come to us just ahead, with Fulham Reach's Aidan Pierre Huilamera in lane 8, level with him. But it's early days. We're coming towards the 250 metre mark, and about 6 of the crews, with the exception, 6 of the scullers, with the exception of lanes 1 and 7, are basically in a line as we go past it.
Yeah, certainly a very, very close race now to the 250 mark. It looks now like the Henley Rowing Club sculler James Swinburne has taken a very, very slight lead over RGS High Wycombe's Benjamin Hinves, but it's still very, very tight in this Championship D final.
Yeah, Benjamin Hinves in lane 2. I think you're right. He is challenging for the lead with James Swinburne of Henley in lane 4, and then in lane 6, Fred Tyler of Stratford upon Avon. 3 of them have slightly got their bows in front, but really not by anything particularly notable. We're coming towards the 500-metre marker. Perhaps we'll get a time that will give us an indication, but I would have thought there's not going to be more than a second between the first 5 scullers.
I think you're right, Mark. Certainly, it looks like the Henley sculler James Swinburne has taken a very, very slight lead over RGS High Wycombe, maybe a foot. The other Henley sculler is following on, probably on his training compatriot. It's always good to race against people you train with. You know what the capabilities are, you know when you can push against them. Maybe you know that they go off hard at the start and you can pull back at them through the race. And certainly it looks now as if the RGS sculler and the 2 Henley scullers are showing in positions 1 to 3.
Yeah, I would say that it's James Swinburne of Henley in lane 4 in the yellow boat, who has now put his bows slightly ahead of the rest. I would say he's sitting on the bow ball of the sculler in second place. We're coming towards the 750-metre marker, and we're going through it with James Swinburne leading the field. Benjamin Hinves of High Wycombe in lane 2, I think, is next after that. Grant Taylor of Henley is in 3rd, and Fred Tyler of Stratford upon Avon is in lane 4. Rowan Baker of Norwich in lane 3 comes next, and then I think it's probably Tucker Moran of the American School, with the two scullers in lanes 1 and 8 having dropped further back.
Yep, James Swinburne from Henley in lane 4 has continued with his lead, but his compatriot Grant Taylor is pushing him hard, probably just a third of a length down on him now, and it looks like Grant Taylor has put in a pretty big push as we've gone through that marker, and now is probably only a canvas down on James Swinburne.
Yeah, he looks like he's coming through him at the moment. He's certainly putting in the work there, Grant Taylor. He's Henley Rowing Club F officially, compared with James Swinburne, who's Henley Rowing Club C, but it is Grant Taylor who has pulled up alongside him and is rowing through him at the moment to challenge for the lead as we come towards, just gone through the 1,000-metre marker, so we're into the second half of the course, and it's the 2 guys from Henley Rowing Club who are battling it out to win this D final. Grant Taylor in lane 5 has a small advantage over James Swinburne in lane 4. In 3rd place it's Fred Tyler of Stratford upon Avon. He's fighting out for 3rd place with the sculler in lane 2. That's Benjamin Hinves of High Wycombe, and Tucker Moran of the American School in lane 7 is also pushing for that 3rd place.
And certainly as we come through the 12:50 marker now, Grant Taylor has built on that lead over James Swinburne. He's probably got about a half a length now, but probably the guy to watch now is Tucker Moran from the American School in London, who's put in an enormous push over the last 200 metres and may well have just got himself into 2nd place as we come up towards the 1,500-metre mark. James Swinburne sculling nice and long. He looks like he's a big guy, keeping the length in the middle of the stroke, in the middle of the race, and pushing out now probably to a 3/4 of a length lead over his compatriot James Swinburne.
You're quite right, it's Tucker Moran who's made the big move, and I think if he continues at the rate that he has been going over the last 300 metres or so, it's going to be Tucker Moran who's going to come through. He's starting to challenge Grant Taylor for the lead. There's about half a length between them, but he's come from pretty well nowhere, Tucker Moran in lane 7. into second place. Grant Taylor of Henley continues to lead the field. It's Tucker Moran in lane 7 of the American School who's second, and the question is whether the amount of ground he has made up has taken too much out of him. But I think he's moving stroke for stroke. I think he's very much in control, and I think that he is going to be challenging Grant Taylor for the lead as we come towards the 1750 metre marker.
I think you're right. Tucker Moran still pushing very, very hard, but actually sculling very, very neatly. Just watching his finishes, the blades are coming out very, very clean. He's sculling nice and long, keeping it controlled. He's just putting another push there to keep up on to catch up on James Swinburne. And I'd say now he's probably maybe just about 2 feet down on James Swinburne from Henley Rowing Club. And these two just pushing away from the rest of the field as we come to the last 250.
I would be surprised if Tucker Moran doesn't come through. It's going to be an impressive response from Grant Taylor if he manages to hold him off, because this has been an inexorable scull from Tucker Moran. He started a long way back from the leaders in the initial 500 metres, and he has come through.
Yes, we're in the last 200 metres now, and as you heard going down the course, both Henley scullers have had their own private battle, but Tucker Moran doing a storming last 300 metres. This is the final of championship singles, the D final, and three or four scullers all going neck and neck within half a length of each other. Tucker Moran in lane 7, and it's going to be neck and neck. There's 2 feet in it between Tucker Moran and the Henley scull, and it was on the line. And over on the far side in third position was Rowan Baker. A great race. Tucker Moran, I don't know whether he did it. It was neck and neck on the line. We'll have to wait to see the result. Right, championship singles. This is the C final, and 8 scullers. Jake Tompkins, Isle of Ely in 1. For George Watson's, it's Harry Grant in 2. For Gloucester Hartbury, it's Robert Gilgore. Emil Gattas for Radnor House in 4. Joseph Bowes for Newark in 5. In lane 6 for Christchurch, that's William Tate. And in lane 7 for Reading Rowing Club, it's Oscar Turner. And Glasgow Academy, Idris Mahamedi in lane 8. I'll hand you over to the car so we can hear the on-course commentary.
Approaching 300 metres to go in this C final of the championship single scull, and it's been a real story to tell for this 8-lane C final. It was Radnor House that went out quickly. Gattas, the school from Twickenham, but was rode through spectacularly by Gloucester Hartbury's Robert Kilger in lane number 3, who's now out to a length in the lead. Making an impressive comeback now into third is Reading Rowing Club's Oscar Turner, who is now coming onto terms with Radnor House in lane number 4. And over on the far side, George Watson's Harry Grant sits in 4th, but this has been quite spectacular here. The turn of speed from Oscar Turner of Reading, Jan.
Yes, and it doesn't look like he's going to settle for second second position either. He's really keeping on it. I think he's got his eyes on Gloucester Hartbury in lane 3, but it might have left it a little bit too late now.
In championship singles, there's been a real neck and neck between, over on the far side, Gloucester Hartbury, that's Robert Gilgore, and in the lane next to him for Ratner House, Emil Gattas. That is a few feet. Ooh, neck and neck on the line, and third over the line is Oscar Turney. We'll have to wait for the official result, too close to call. And then in fourth and fifth we have Joseph Bowes and William Tate, followed by Idris Mahmoudi in lane 8.
Right, so where are we now? Race 3. Still live at the moment. I've not got nothing. And the next race on the course is the Junior 16 Quad Sculls. In lane 1 it's Dulwich College, in lane 2 Durham School B, in lane 3 King's School Worcester A. In lane 4 it's St Michael's Rowing Club from Ireland, their A crew. In lane 5 it's Tideway Scullers, a B crew. In lane 6 it's Hinksey Schools, Sculling School. And in lane 7 it's Clare's Court School.
For 2, we've got Hinksey Sculling School currently battling it out with Clare's Court School in lanes 5 and 6. It's absolutely neck and neck, but at the moment Hinksey Sculling School are just easing it out, but it's battling, it's changing back and forth quite constantly, and as we're at the 250 mark, we're not even halfway through this race, but Clare's Court starting to nose out into a lead, just winding it that little bit further every stroke. And Hinksey Sculling School, Bowes looking particularly, trying to dig in and get it out at the moment, but they're losing ground every stroke now to Clare's Court. In the battle for third place, we've got King's School Worcester A leading the pack in this final? In this B final. So, Clare's Court School continuing to fight it out over Hinksey. Simon, what do you think?
Yeah, Clare's Court looking good. See Tom's Jost just cycling along the path here with us. Obviously that means Tom's wife hasn't quite had the baby yet, which was due a couple of days ago. So he'll be very, very pleased to see his crew leading up ahead here in the B final. Clare's Court have been very successful. They won the Forley in 2016 at Henley, and have had a very, very good sculling programme under Tom's leadership over the last few years. But they're still being pushed by Hinksey as we come up to the 1750 mark. But I'd say Clare's Court now probably have a 3/4 of a length lead, sculling long. Quite a high rating there. I've got them at 34-35, and they're maintaining that pace as we come through to the 1750, with Hinksey in second. Third place looks quite tight, with King's School Worcester probably just about in third, with a canvas lead over St Michael's Rowing Club Ireland, who again have maybe half a length lead over Tideway Scullers.
But again, that battle into third place, St. Michael's is still starting to battle it out, and we're still looking for first and second here. Clare's Court School now have just a smidgen of open water over Hinksey Sculling, and continuing to progress forward with 250 meters yet to go in this race. Oh, and third place has just changed hand yet again. King's School Worcester going out, but at the same time St. Michael's making an absolute lunge for it from lane 4. So as we come into the last 100 meters, we have Hinksey Sculling School in first, Tideway Scullers in second, and third is a three-way dogfight.
And as they come into the last 100 metres at the moment, Clare's Court continues to lead Hinksey Sculling School, but a good battle over there between St Michael's and King's School Worcester for that third place, and Tideway Scullers coming through as well. Nothing between these three as they go towards the line. Tideway Scullers this side, St Michael's in the middle, King's School Worcester across the line now. And with those beats from the tower here, I would say unofficially that it was Tideway Scullers who got there over St Michael's, who just got there over King's School Worcester for that third place. But it was Clare's Court who went over unofficially first, and Hinksey Sculling School in second place. And the results of the race before that, the Championship Single Sculls Final C, it was a win for the Radnor House School Sculler. He won just a bow bobble over Gloucester Hartbury, who in turn beat Reading Rowing Club. In fourth it was Newark Rowing Club, fifth Christchurch Rowing Club, George Watson's College was sixth, Glasgow Academy from Rowing Club was seventh, and Isle of Ely was eighth. So a win for Radnor House School in the Final C Single Sculls.
So next race on the course is race 343, which is Junior 16 Quads. That's Final A in lane 1. Aberdeen Schools Rowing Association, Wallingford in 2. Sir William Borlase is in 3. In 4 we've got Peterborough City, and 5 Tideway Scullers School A, and Trentham Boat Club in lane 6. We'll pass you down to the cars, who are on about halfway on the course.
J16 Quadruple Sculls, and it's Tideway that have just run away with this race. They're a good length clear water ahead of Trentham Boat Club and Peterborough City. Behind them is Sir William Borlase, another length back, and we've got Aberdeen School and Wallingford in the rear, but it's really Tideway Scullers that are looking like they're going to take this race, Tom.
Yeah, they've looked in control all the way through this race, and just coming up through that last 500 lifted the rate ever so slightly, now striking about 38 strokes a minute and just really going for it, and they've got nothing left to save themselves for. This is the A final, there's medals at stake, and they just want to enjoy it, and with only about 300 metres to go, they can sit there. They're in control, they're looking back on the crews behind them, but it's a real tussle for those other medals. Silver and bronze is going to be very, very close indeed between Peterborough and Trentham. At the moment, Peterborough very slightly behind Trentham, but it's anyone's game into the last 250.
Yeah, it's too close to call for the silver and bronze. Trentham maybe just edging out to a canvas in front of Peterborough. I don't think Sir William Borlase are going to catch them. Tideway still a length clear water, but I think now Trentham putting in a push to try and close that gap. I think we're going to have to go to the tower to find out.
And indeed, as the J16 Quad Scull A final comes into the last stages, it's Tideway Scullers School A crew in the lead. Trentham just eased into the second place over Peterborough City, but Peterborough pushing back hard on them at the moment. Trentham holding on to about 3 feet, but Peterborough lifting again, pushing for the line. On the far side, Sir William Borlase in fourth, but as they go towards the line, it's Trentham holding on to that second place over Peterborough City, and the winners, Tideway Scullers School, celebrate in that unofficial result and we'll wait for the official result later.
Can I take it? Next race on the course is the B final of J16 Coxless 4s. In 1, Eton College, B. Monmouth School A in 2, Royal Shrewsbury School A in 3, in lane 4, St Paul's School A, in 5, Hampton School A, in 6, Aberdeen Schools Rowing Association. This is the B final J16 Coxless 4s.
This B final for the J16 straight 4s. At the moment, as we come up to the 12:50 mark, we have St Paul's School A currently in the lead by about 3/4 of a length over Eton College over there in lane 1. Third place is presently Shrewsbury School, but we've also got Monmouth making a real challenge for it, and Hampton's not out of it yet either. So continuing to go out, St Paul's School continuing to lead, but Eton continuing to press. Simon, where do you think this is going to go?
Well, certainly St Paul's have got a nice lead of a length now. They're rating quite high at 36, but they are rowing and keeping the length as they've kept the rating high. Eton on the far side now have just pulled out maybe a 1/4 of a length lead over St Paul's in third place, who have maybe a 1/4 of a length over Royal Shrewsbury School in fourth. St Paul's continue with that length lead as we come up to the 1500 metre mark, with Eton second, Monmouth and Shrewsbury. Monmouth just slightly ahead of Shrewsbury as we come into the 1500 metre marks. St Paul's now have got a little bit of clear water over the rest, maybe 2-3 feet. So they can start to make sure that they relax as they get into the last 500 metres, keeping the work on, keeping an eye out for any pushes from any of the other crews. And certainly when there's racing of this intensity, the second place is down, they're going to have to keep an eye out. But at the moment, Eton College still in second, Monmouth in third, Royal Shrewsbury in fourth, and Hampton putting in a big push now as we come up towards the last 250.
Yeah, but it's still St Paul's. St Paul's continuing to lead, although it has to be said Monmouth and Eton they're chipping away at it. They're not going to let them get away with daylight between the boats. I'm not sure they've got enough time left to wind up. We've only got 250 metres left in this race, and they may not have enough water to catch them. But there is absolutely a battle going on to not let St Paul's get away with it, and there's a slugfest between Eton and Monmouth. Monmouth now starting to inch into the lead. Depending on the surge, Monmouth are ahead into second place in this race, and they're now overlapping ever so slightly with St Paul's.
And as they come into the last 100 metres, St Paul's Boat Club being pushed hard now by Monmouth School and Eton College on the far side. Have St Paul's gone out too hard? Can they hold on? It's now Monmouth and Eton College on the far side, starting to overlap with them. Monmouth School in the green boat, St Paul's in the white boat in the centre of the lake, just holding on to that lead. It's half a length now as they push towards the line. Monmouth in the green boat. On the far side, we've got Eton College B. And as they go across the line, that seems to be the unofficial 1, 2, 3. In fourth place, we've got Hampton. In fifth place, we've got Royal Shrewsbury School. And in sixth place, I've got Aberdeen Schools Rowing Association.
Exciting racing again, neck and neck. I'll take you down to the start for race 346, which is Junior 16 Girls Doubles Final B. In 1, Trafford. In 2, Nottingham and Union. Maidenhead Rowing Club A in 3, Shanklin Sandown A in 4. In 5, Henley Rowing Club. In 6, Magdalen College School. Over to the car on the course.
3-4-6, the girls J16 double sculls. This is for the Marlow Bowl. It's the B final. The crews did get away from the blocks, but I'm unclear for the reason, and they have gone for a restart. So crews backing down at the moment, back onto the blocks. As I say, I'm unclear exactly the reason for that. Max, did you spot that at all?
No, not at all. I think we're a little too far away from...
No, we're not quite sure on the restart, but it is going to be restarted shortly. So they're just getting the crews back into the blocks. We've got 36 entries in this event, this new event this year. It's obviously proved very popular, and so these 6 crews have made it into the top 12 and are racing for places 7 down to 12. So in lane 1 we'll have Trafford, in lane 2 Notts and Union, in lane 3 Maidenhead, in lane 4 Shanklin Sandown, lane 5 Henley, and in lane 6 Magdalen College School. Crews just still getting into position at the moment, and we'll hopefully get them away very shortly.
Well, the good news is, while we're waiting for them to start, we can get our camera back on our car. The rain has stopped, so we can get the camera back on and we can give you some live footage, hopefully, for this B final.
Yeah, plenty to be excited about in this race, both in the B final and the one to come, the A final 2. Should be lots to look forward to, lots of good racing. The double sculls, always exciting, plenty of room for movement within the race, and a half length or length advantage can very swiftly turn round in the smaller boats.
Yeah, absolutely, and just because it's a B final, that these crews will still be trying to impress the coaches that are going to be cycling alongside. I've seen lots of GB junior coaches, and they're going to be scouting for potentially the next, well, we've got the J16 GB France match, you've got of course the GB junior trials coming up, so they'll be wanting to show what they've got today, and I think they've just started now.
Yeah, and of course it's not just the medals at stake at Nat Schools. Its positions are all important, and some of the B finals we saw yesterday were absolutely fantastic, and more of the same today. I'm sure people really jostling for position and wanting to prove themselves in their final event of the day. And as the crews come up towards our position now through that 250. Fairly straight across, although I think possibly the crews on the tower side have a little bit of a lead at this early stage. So that's Magdalen College looking quite good.
Yeah, it's a close start, good start from all boats. I think it's Magdalen College School in lane 6 that have just edged out in front, but Trafford Rowing Club as well getting a really good start in, and they're only about a canvas behind, so all boats still very much in this race as we pass 300 metres.
Yeah, it's certainly looking like it's the crew in lane 6 who are out in front and looking very strong indeed. The long strokes, 34 strokes a minute, half a length in the lead, and Maidenhead and Trafford pushing hard on the far side. Race is not getting away of anybody here. Magdalen College School were up by about a length and are being chased down through this middle 1,000 metres. It's going to be a tight one, Max.
Yeah, all boats still in contact with each other. We've got Shanklin Sandown and Henley Rowing Club just at the back of the pack, but all boats still in level, and I'm sure that if they just take a little look to the left and right, and I think the bowman of Shanklin did just that, they can see all the boats around them still. They're very much still in this race, and Magdalen College School now just being rowed back by Maidenhead, and they're only now a canvas up at 700 metres.
And the crews have settled down now onto that race rhythm. So Magdalen were up at 34, but now on 32. And Maidenhead really taking advantage there and just upping their game through the second half of their stroke, through that 90 degrees backs coming into play. And it's now neck and neck through that 750. I would say Maidenhead have just taken the lead by a nose there. It's pretty neck and neck stuff, with Henley pushing hard as well in that third position at this stage. really close racing.
Maidenhead looking really good now. They've got that suspension on the drive there, really squeezing through and accelerating the stroke, and that's just what's taken them to a almost canvas lead now in front of Magdalen. Behind them, Henley Rowing Club in third position, now coming back up. I think they're going to challenge for that second place. They're only about a foot or two behind Magdalen College, and still we've got Shanklin, Nottingham Union and Trafford only a length above these first three.
Henley really going now and actually coming through that Magdalen College school, who had the early running, set that pace early on, but they're now down in third. Maidenhead moving out to 3/4 of a length of a lead through the halfway point, and Henley are pushing hard to try and get back on terms with Maidenhead. I wouldn't be surprised to see what happens over the next 250 metres. Maidenhead's seen that though. They've looked across and just thought, okay, Henley coming, we're just going to make sure that we maintain this lead, and they've not let them come any closer. It's about 3/4 of a length, but no more at this point.
Yeah, I think Henley had a good call there at the 1,000 metres, just to take the rate up maybe a pip or two and really take it to Magdalen College, and Magdalen just didn't have anything to respond to that, and they're now coming back towards Maidenhead. I think they've got contact now. Bowball is on the stroke man of Maidenhead, and they're still moving.
And Magdalen College, who had the early running of it, now under pressure from the crews on the marquee side. You've got Trafford, Nottingham Union, Shanklin Sandown as well, actually putting a little bit of pressure on Magdalen College. It's always hard starting from the outside to keep track of the field, and particularly when it's such a close race, difficult to be looking across and trying to keep track of everything else that's going along in the sort of 5 or 6 lanes alongside you. Magdalen College just caught out a little bit there in that third 250 really, but as we come up towards the final 500 metres, it's becoming a bit of a two-horse race for the first place, with clear water between the crews from Maidenhead and Henley and the rest of the field. It's going to be close for that third position, but I think the winner's going to come from the crews in lane 5 and lane 3.
Yeah, really good from these two crews out in front, but actually the really good third 500 from Trafford RC over by the tents. They've had a really good push to put them in contention for third place now. I think they've just put their noses out in front at the 500 metres to go. They've rode through Magdalen College School to take third place, and up ahead we've got Henley almost now 1 foot back from Maidenhead.
Yeah, they've upped their rate, 38 strokes a minute for Henley. Looking across, the bowman he's checking what are they going to do, what are Maidenhead going to do, what are we going to do. It's really very close. I mean, it is bow ball for bow ball really as we come into the last 300 metres or so, and Henley just don't want to let go of this race. They've upped the rate up to 38 strokes a minute, slightly above Maidenhead I think there, but it's Maidenhead who still maintain the advantage, but it's a gnat's breath of an advantage. We're talking less than a foot every stroke. They're going kind of level, so really nothing in it. Who's got what it takes in the final 250?
Heads were completely in the boat on their rhythm, but it's not going to mean anything if Henley now have that sprint finish in the last 200 metres as we approach the finish tower.
And as they approach the last 100 metres, Maidenhead raised their rate of striking as well. Henley still at 37, going up to 38 now, and it's Maidenhead who are keeping it long and strong, but Henley now, their bow ball takes the lead. They have 1 foot lead as they push towards the line. Maidenhead trying to respond, and they do so. The crews are level as they push now. Maidenhead go back into the lead. Henley wind again. Maidenhead holding on, and as we go towards the line now, it's anyone's race. Henley trying to go. Bowboy looks across at the stroke, and it's now Maidenhead who've got in front, and Henley are second. And look at Trafford on the far side, battling for that third place of the Shanklin Sandown in the middle of the course. And going to the line now, that's it's Magdalen College on this side, and it was Nottingham Union in the lane 2 on the far side. But a very, very good race there in that B final of J16 double sculls.
Racing, nip and tuck all the way. These young people sculling exceptionally well. You saw that race where Maidenhead and Henley slugged it out over the last 200-300 metres. Maidenhead just taking the honours in front of Henley, and in third place Trafford over on the far side just taking that third. So back down to the start for the A final of J16 doubles. In lane 1, Ch4 Sculls School A, Chester Street A in 2, Lee Rowing Club A in 3, in 4, Reading Bluecoat School A, in 5, Wycliffe Junior Rowing Club B, and in 6, Exeter Rowing Club. We'll pass you over to the car as soon as we can.
Are past the 500 meter, approaching 750 in the final of the Junior 16 men's double, and at the moment we have Wycliffe leading Bluecoat School by about a third to half a length at the moment. Wycliffe absolutely shot out of Exeter, absolutely shot out of the blocks, excuse me, but have been reeled in by Wycliffe. Exeter did have open water. Wycliffe now are only half a length behind, and there's an absolute dogfight in third. Simon, can you update us, please?
Yeah, sure. It's Lee just slightly ahead of Reading Bluecoat, maybe a foot as we go through the 750. The Lee sculling really long. They've settled into a nice rhythm, and the two crews that went off hard at the start, though, Exeter and Wycliffe, have got a pretty substantial lead now, probably of a couple of lengths, but it's certainly a dogfight for first and second. Both of them went off 38-39 strokes a minute. Exeter took it down a little bit earlier to 34-35. Wycliffe kept it higher for a bit longer. Both crews now settling in around 32-33, and it's a real dogfight for first and second place. Back in the pack, we have Lee Rowing Club in third, with a slight lead, maybe a quarter of a length now over Reading Bluecoat, with Chester Street on the far side, probably just about half a length down on Bluecoat, with Tideway Scullers in lane 1 bringing up the rear. In the lead, though, we have a very tough race. Exeter sculling nice and long. I like the way that they're just keeping the blades locked in at the finish. Really positive catch as well. Probably slightly more efficient from the Wycliffe crew, but Wycliffe are very much hanging in there now as we come up towards the 1250 mark.
And Exeter have actually started to lengthen out and lengthen their lead over Wycliffe, just that little bit, moving out to 3/4 of a length and looking like they're continuing to push. Meantime, in third, Lee now has a very definitive half a length lead over Reading Bluecoat. Reading Bluecoat, then maybe a canvas over Chester Street. But still the fight goes on for first and second between Exeter and Wycliffe. Exeter still hanging out there at 3/4 of the length in front. Wycliffe absolutely determined not to let them go. Exeter rowing very long, really nice finishes at the end. Wycliffe have gritted their teeth and are saying, no, we're not letting you have this one so easily. But at the same time, Exeter still have it. Lee continue to surge, now out to about 7/8 of a length over a fight between Chester Street and Reading Bluecoat. But as we come over the second bridge and approach the 1500 meter mark, Exeter continue to lead, and they've expanded their lead out to a length. You can start to see daylight between the boats. Wycliffe starting to slip back a little bit, and Lee thinking about reeling them in. Fourth place still on between Chester Street and Reading Bluecoat School. Thank you very much. But Chester Street have again made their move as Reading Bluecoat start to slide back. Simon?
And as we come up towards the 1750 mark, Exeter continue to maintain their lead of just over a length over Wycliffe. Sculling very nicely at 32, looking controlled. Looks like Wycliffe have gone a little bit early for the finish to try and reel them back in. Probably sensible so they don't run out of water. In third place, now in a clear third place, we have the Lee Rowing Club with Ch4 Street in fourth and Reading Bluecoat fifth. This Exeter double have sculled really, really well through this race. They've kept a controlled pace. They took the rating down a little bit earlier from Wycliffe, and they're just sculling very, very efficiently now as we come through to the Red Boys and the last 250.
And yes, they are sculling very, very well. For Junior 16 boys, that is a very long stroke, and they continue to open up a lead over Wycliffe. Lee are chasing down Wycliffe, but at the same time, I think as we're deep in the thick of the Red Boys, I think we've got it pretty much set here that it's going to be Exeter Rowing Club as the gold medalists in this J16 double, followed by Wycliffe in silver and Lee RC in bronze.
And it is a very good battle indeed still towards the line. Exeter have maintained this lead all the way through the race, but it's at the moment a good battle between them and Wycliffe Junior Rowing Club. And on the far side, Lee trying to haul them in as well, and also you've got Ch4 Street in fourth place. But as these double sculls go across the line, as from the commentary car, the gold medal goes to Exeter. Wycliffe went over in silver, and it was indeed Lee who went over in the bronze medal place. We wait for the official results, and we then move back to the cars.
Right, another exciting race on the course now. I'll take you down to the start. Race 348, that's Championship Coxless pairs. The B final, Henley Rowing Club in 1, Reading Bluecoat School in 2. In 3 we have Grange. In 4 Reading Bluecoat School B. In 5 Bedford School A, and completing the field Sir William Borlase's school in 6. We'll take the cars on the course now.
Want to put in that performance, but really tight behind, isn't it, with the crew from Reading Bluecoat now putting a bit of a push in, looking good, but being challenged by Grange on their left hand side. Grange really going straight for straight with them, and the whole field really tightening up actually behind this Bedford crew.
Yeah, that's right. There's not much in it at all, and it's just Reading Bluecoat A just getting an advantage now over Grange School. I think they just put in a push just before the 750 to go, but it's Reading Bluecoat B as well, almost the same speed as their A boat. So I don't know how they split up these two boats, but they're pretty much the same speed, and they've got Grange School as well in the middle of them, about level with Reading Bluecoat B.
And of course those two crews will know each other fairly well, may well have raced with each other yesterday, and so they'll know each other's strengths and each other's weaknesses as well. The crew in the middle, Grange School, just trying to keep pace with both of those crews, and they are. All three crews are straight across the course. There's barely a quarter of a length probably between those three crews, and Bedford just lengthening that lead a little bit, about a length and a half now. Clearwater out on the lead with 500 to go. Reading Bluecoat School A now with about half a length lead, but it's neck and neck between Grange and their counterparts, and the crew on the far side are coming through as well. Henley not out of the battle for second or third place there potentially. They're really putting a spurt on.
Yeah, Henley just really took the rate up in that last 10 strokes. I think they've just started their final sprint now. Really patient from the Bedford School boat. They're just sticking with their rate. They're still pretty much on the same race pace that they had the whole way, so they want to make sure that they cross the line without any incidents. But I think they're going to think about the 300 meter mark, maybe just pushing on just to get that time at the finish.
The story of this last 500 metres has been that Henley crew, who were a little bit further back but are now pushing right into the mix for potentially third or maybe second place. Reading Bluecoat looking like they're battling each other for second place at the moment. Really tight between those two crews. Grange, who had stayed with them all the way, just falling back slightly into the clutches of Henley now, and it's going to be really tight. We'll have to go to the tower to see what's going to happen as they come up to that finish line.
And as they approach the last 150 metres now, it is indeed Bedford School A in this B final of the championship pairs. On the far side, a good battle between the two Reading Blue Coat crews, and in between them it's Grange School. But Henley now starting to challenge Grange School on the far side near the enclosures. But coming towards the line now, a very mature row from Bedford School A crew and the two crews from Reading Blue Coats having a really good row against each other. But in this B final of championship pairs, Reading go through the line now, and Reading Blue Coats, the pairs go through second and third. In fourth place, Grange hold on. Fifth, it's Henley, and in sixth place, it's Sir William Borlase School.
Another exciting race, Coxless pairs, not easy boats. You know, we've got a slight tailwind here, well, more than a slight, so they've got to keep their boats as straight as they can. I saw the umpire, who's now given a white flag to say the race is good, but he had to do a little bit of work on the way down to keep the boats in their lanes. But good result there for Bedford and also Reading Blue Coat School. Their second and third places, really good. So on the course now, we've got the A final of Championship Coxless pairs. In 1, Enniskillen Royal Grammar School from Ireland. In 2, King's School Chester A. King's School Chester B in 3. King's School Canterbury B in 4. Walton, who are they, Ken?
My home club.
Walton in 5, Radley College A in 6, and we'll take you over to the cars on the course.
The 1500 meter mark of this Championship A final for the Championship men's pair, we have Radley College well in command of this race, currently leading King's School Chester by approximately 2.5 lengths, and King's School Chester again over Walton BC by about 2 lengths. But I mean, the story of the race is Radley with 300 meters left to go, long and strong, looking very relaxed, very excited, ready to go, reliably informed. These are the under 23 GB lads, and did very well representing the country in Munich recently, and they're going to absolutely walk away with the championship. But we've got a good race now on for second. So between Kings and Walton are making an absolute move up the course. They have reeled in Walton and they now overlap by about half a length. The question is whether or not they are going to run out of water, because Walton are putting it on, but Kings have responded and are just not letting it go as we're here into the red boys.
And as they come forward into the next 100 metres, Radley hold on to that gold medal position. But there's a good battle now between Walton and King's School Chester in the middle of the lake. And on the far side, Enniskillen started to make a move as well. And as these three pairs push towards the line, Enniskillen now starting to challenge for the silver medal. Walton also challenging as well. And King's School Chester seem to be just rode out of it at the moment as Enniskillen move into that third place. But King's School Chester respond as well. And we wait for the official result. But it looked like Walton got to the silver medal, and we wait for the third position between King's School Chester and Enniskillen. But Radley went over the line first. So we wait for the official results in that Championship Pairs Final A.
Yeah, another great race. That win quite strong now. So these lads having to cope with steering as well as the physicality of the race. Yeah, Radley looked very strong, but the race was on for second and third there. We're not sure of the official result quite yet. We're just waiting for that. It was between Walton, King's School Chester,
King's School Canterbury,
and King's School Canterbury and Enniskillen. We await with bated breath. So back down to the court, down to the start for race 350, Championship Girls Coxless Pairs. This is the B final. we have 5 boats. Kingston Grammar in 1, St Michael's Rowing Club from Ireland in 2, Walton Rowing Club in 3. That's their A crew, and their B crew next to them in 4, with Yarm School in 5. Take you over to the cars on the course.
It's the last 750 metres of this B final, and it's a real tussle between the Walton B crew and Yarm School for the win in this B final of the Championship Girls Coxless pairs. 750 metre marker gone there, and it really is stroke for stroke. There's probably a foot in this for the lead of this race between the crew from Yarm and the Walton crew. There's 2 Walton crews in this event, and their B crew slightly further ahead of their A crew, currently in 3rd. Then we have to go back a little way further for St Michael's Rowing Club from Ireland. Kingston Grammar School in 5th place at the moment.
Yeah, it's the Walton B crew and Yarm School now pretty much level, and I think Yarm have just got the advantage with about 600 metres to go. They're going to have to start thinking about their sprint for the finish, and I think it is, yeah, Yarm School have just taken that half a canvas now in front of Walton. Behind them, Walton A, about half a length clear water behind, and St Michael's Rowing Club from Ireland another length behind them.
And they're opening up a little bit of a gap now, these leading 2 crews from Walton and Yarm. I think there's clear water, about quarter of a length clear water now back to the crew in 3rd place. So it's really about who has enough over the last 350 metres or so to take the win. And this is, of course, for the positions. 7 to 11 in this event. There were 26 crews entered in this event, so they've done very well to get to this B final, and racing for 7th place in the category overall and the win in the B final. Yarm just opening the lungs a little bit now, about a 1/3 of the length lead over Walton, and can they hold on to that over the final stretch of this course?
Yeah, and I think the water is getting a little choppier down here, and you can see that they're just having a little bit more trouble getting over the waves, but it is Yarm School that are now half a length in front of Walton B, who are 1 length in front of Walton A and St Michael's. Kingston Grammar School, fair few lengths behind in lane 1.
Yeah, really stretching their legs now, Yarm, and definitely heading for a length lead at this point, and just wanting to make sure they're absolutely securing the win in this race with into the red boys now, and heading into the final 150 metres or so, and they're not going to quite get clear water yet, but give it a couple more strokes and Yarm will have that lead. Walton's 2nd crew really chasing down their counterparts from their club, but it might be a little too late at this point.
And as they push on towards the line, it's Yarm who maintain that lead at the moment over Walton B and Walton A, and it's a good battle between those 2 Walton pairs at the moment. They train together every weekend, but they're pushing on hard, and as they do so, Walton closes the gap slightly over Yarm School Boat Club, but the 2 Walton boats overlap, and as we go towards the line, Yarm take the honours in 1st place, Walton's B crew in 2nd place, Walton's C crew in 3rd place. Then it was St Michael's Rowing Club from Northern Ireland, and then it was Kingston Grammar School in lane number 1. That was the Final B of Championship Girls pairs.
Yeah, good racing again. Difficult boats to keep moving these pairs in the cross tail now. It's swinging. Good tail, very strong. Umpire's given a white flag, so the race is good. We now go down to the start for race 351. This is the A final of Championship Girls Coxless pairs. In 1, St Paul's Girls' School A, Henley Rowing Club B. In 2, Aberdeen Schools Rowing Association A. In 3, in 4, Notts City Rowing Association. In 5, Kingston Rowing Club, and Shipley College in 6. We'll take you over the cars now.
County won the championship ladies pair. At the moment, coming up to halfway, we have Kingston Rowing Club.
Closely followed by Notts County Rowing Association,
Okay.
and a bit of a ding-dong of a battle for third place with Shiplake College out here in lane 6. Probably, no, not quite actually, probably just in 4th with Aberdeen Schools Rowing Association in 3rd. The Kingston pair though started off well and established an early lead.
They've really been reeled in though, Simon. Notts County have caught up to them. Haven't quite closed the open water gap, but Kingston had been substantially ahead. At the same time, Shiplake now making a move into 3rd, starting to drop Henley Rowing Club ever so slightly. Who do you think is going to come out better on that one, Simon?
My money's still on the Kingston pair maintaining this lead. Lily Abbott in the stroke seat did really well at GB Trials this year. She won the singles at Wallingford, and her partner in the bow seat, Holly Blake, came 3rd in the same event. So there's some really good pedigree in the singles for this Kingston pair, and they're certainly powering ahead now. I think they've got a 1/4 of a length lead over Notts County Rowing Association, who are pumping along really hard. There's still quite a strong tailwind here. Shiplake College probably half a length down on Notts County Rowing Association now, rowing well, with Aberdeen Schools Rowing Association now in 4th place. And Shiplake to me look like they're just putting in a bit of a push here to see if they can get the silver medal, but Kingston continue to maintain their lead of a 1/4 of a length as we come up towards the 1500 metre mark.
Yep, absolutely. 500 metres to go. Kingston have got to be starting to feel confident, but they can't ease up too much just yet. Notts County continuing to put the pressure on, and Shiplake again continuing to pressure Notts County. Shiplake have not noticeably picked up the rate, but have been very level and steady, very even through that. Now as they come right through the 500 metre mark, they are starting to push, absolutely starting to push, and they're making a dent on Notts County. Kingston, however, have expanded out just that bit further. They've probably added another half a length to their lead at this point.
Yeah, I think Kingston, unless there's a disaster in the last 250 here, are in for a gold medal, and it's well deserved. They rowed really well down the course, just nice and controlled, maintaining their length and keeping it just everyone else out of the way so that they can dominate the race. The race for 3rd and 2nd though is still very much open. Notts County Rowing Association have been in that position for a while. Shiplake have made a couple of attempts now to come through them, but it still maintains Notts County Rowing Association with a half a length over Shiplake as we come through to the last 250.
And as we enter the Red Boys, Kingston continue to maintain their lead. They have increased it ever so slightly. Shiplake continuing. Shiplake now are really putting the pressure on to Notts County, but they're starting to, they can see the finish line. They're starting to lose time, lose water, but they're absolutely pressuring it. They're just a canvas down now on Notts County, and they've upped the rate of striking. They're pushing hard, but Notts County are fighting back and have...
And as Kingston head towards the line in this Final A of the Championship Girls Pairs, it's a good battle for the silver medal position between Shiplake and Nottingham County Rowing Association on the far side. Nottingham County with a rate of 37 coming into the last 250. They've now gone up to 39, and it's a good race to the line, but Shiplake look across, they can't manage their rate of striking, and with that high rate Nottingham County maintain that silver medal position as Kingston go across the line in the gold medal. Nottingham County in the silver and Shiplake in the 3rd position for the bronze. On the far side, a good battle as well for the bronze medal position between between St Paul's Boat Club and Aberdeen Schools Rowing Association and Henley Rowing Club B.
Well, Ken, what a superb race. I mean, those Kingston girls look absolutely spot on together, and I could see the umpire just coming across as pairs were just drifting a little bit. It's not easy in this strong wind, but full marks to all crews. Kingston first, and Nottingham County, yes, I think they almost bust the 40 mark in terms of their rate to keep in front of Shiplake. But Shiplake will be a little bit disappointed, but did exceedingly well. Who was fourth, Ken?
Just look at the unofficial result for the fourth place. That was St Paul Girls' School Boat Club in fourth. Unofficially, Aberdeen Schools Rowing Association was fifth. And in sixth place, we had Henley Rowing Club's B Crew.
Yeah, well done to everybody. So, race 352 follows. This is Final B of girls doubles. That's J16 doubles, Final B. In lane 1, King's School Worcester. Tyne Amateur Rowing Club in 2, Exeter in 3. In lane 4, Burway. In 5, Sir William Perkins' School A. And completing the field, Cambridge 99 A, they're in lane 6. So over to the cars for the on-course commentary.
We're at the 800 metres to go at the B final of the Junior Under 16s Girls Double Sculls, and we've got Sir William Perkins School, a really commanding lead over the rest of the field. They are really out here to get the best position that they can today, and behind them Cambridge 99 and King's School Worcester are fighting it out for that second position in this race, but not far behind them is Burway Rowing Club.
Isn't this an impressive performance from the crew from Williams Perkins? There's at least 2.5 lengths of clear water now between them and the rest of the field, and they are really enjoying this race. You can see they've got the field laid out in front of them. They can see where everybody else is, and it's just the case now of controlling the race into the finish. It's a wonderful position to be in any race, in a multi-lane race, to know that you've got the field exactly where you want them, and in this case it's now a tussle for second place between, as Max was saying, Cambridge 99 who were in second for most of the first half, but increasingly being challenged by King's School Worcester, and then more lately Burway. And I wonder if Burway have just got a little bit more in them over this second half, Max.
Yeah, I think Burway have had a bit of spurt of energy, or they've just come together a little bit more here. I mean, it's obviously Sir William Perkins out in front, but these three crews behind them are now completely level as we go through the 500 metres, bow ball to bow ball, and there's nothing in it now.
Oh, it's absolutely neck and neck, isn't it? And it's really about who's got what it takes over those last 500 metres. You know, we train in rowing for these 2K races, 2,000 metres, and sometimes that last 250, last 500 can feel very, very far, and it's about who's got what it takes to grit their teeth, to get on that foot plate, to stay with their partner here and move together. And Burway really pulled themselves into this one. I think they're now in second place by a tiny margin, but just slightly ahead of Cambridge and the crew on the far side from Worcester.
Yeah, this is really great rowing from Burway now, coming into the last 300 metres. And it is hard in a tailwind when you've been, you know, probably rating a little bit higher than you normally would, maybe going a little bit faster to find that next gear, that next level in the last 200 metres. You've got to really push on and hammer hard on those legs, and I think that's what Burway are doing, just to edge in front of Cambridge 99, but I don't know who's going to come through in the last 200.
Burway have just kept on relentlessly pushing and now really coming through Cambridge. I think they're increasing their lead every stroke now. I think Cambridge and Worcester are not quite going with the lift that Burway have done, and a really good finish by that crew in the middle of the course there. So William Perkins imperiously out in front, but Cambridge have just seen Burway there and they're trying to go with them. The Balgals looking across and saying, okay, we're going to go with you. Worcester just slightly further back now, so it's between Burway and Cambridge for that second place.
And as they head towards the line, Sir William Perkins from Chertsey, and in the boathouse next to them, Burway. So these two must have seen each other on the lake a lot of times, and Burway pushing on for the silver medal. But Cambridge 99, they're not letting them have it all their own way. And with those few extra pushes, those bow balls are level, and as they go across the line, we wait for the official result. But Burway and Cambridge 99, what a really good race they had there.
King's School Worcester.
On the far side in lane 1, King's School Worcester Boat Club put in a really good effort and just out of the top 3 positions in 4th place. And then we had Tyne Amateur Rowing Club and then Exeter Rowing Club as well. So a very good race indeed. Unofficially, Sir William Perkins School Rowing Club were first in this Final B. Burway Rowing Club unofficially were second, but only by 0.04 of a second over Cambridge 99 Rowing Club. That's the unofficial result. We wait for the official results in that J16 Girls Double Sculls Final B.
Yeah, weren't Sir William Perkins's double very impressive? Good long strokes, sculling so well together, held that rate about 34, 35 for most of the way, then just lifted in a bit to make sure they stayed well in front of the rest of the field. Great sculling again. Right, next race. Down to the start for race 353, which is Junior Girls Doubles, J16 Doubles. This is the A final. In lane 1, St George's College A, St Edward's School A in 2, Headington School A in 3, Trentham Boat Club A in 4, in 5, Kingston Rowing Club A in 6, Coleraine, that's from Ireland, in 6. Over to the cars.
As we approach the 12:50 mark in this A final of the J16 ladies double, at the moment it's Headington School have taken the lead by about 1.25 lengths over Kingston, who led briefly in the beginning part of the race. Third is continuing to be a bit of a ding-dong between St George's College and St Edward's College. At the moment, St George has taken out a length by a canvas. Simon, where do you think it's going to go?
Well, it looks like Headington have got this sewn up, barring a disaster. They're rating a nice, comfortable 32. Well, as comfortable as a 2K race can ever be. They're sculling well and together. Ryan, the head coach there, will be very pleased. Kingston, probably not quite so tidy, but certainly sculling with a lot of guts and determination in these conditions, which aren't great, are holding on to second. But St George's College over there in lane 1 have got an overlap on Kingston now. I'm not sure if the Kingston girls have seen them out of their corner of their eye. It's a long way apart. Kingston are racing a little bit of vacuum here over in lane 5. But as we come up to the 1500 metre mark, Headington maintain a very comfortable lead, probably 1.5 lengths, 2 lengths now over Kingston, who have half a length lead over St George's, who then have a length lead over St Edward's in 4th place.
So Kingston have made that look, and they've seen St George's now. Unfortunately, seeing them they've picked up the pace, but it doesn't seem to be doing them sufficient good at the moment, as St George's are continuing to haul on and are now neck and neck with Kingston and continuing to build on that. Headington remain firmly in command and continuing to ease out an increasing lead as they go on, but St George's has now definitely overtaken Kingston. Kingston trying to bring it back as we are about 300 metres left to go in this race. Can Kingston hang on, Simon?
Well, Kingston are certainly putting in a push again. They're very determined. Plenty of encouragement from probably the loudest coach of the day cycling alongside us. They've come up back level. I'd say this is going to be a real tussle now to the line as we come in towards the 1750 and they see the red boys. Hopefully they'll just get that extra push and start to pull back on St George's over in lane 1. But I think St George's have seen that coming and they've responded, and as we come up to the 1750 mark, I'd say St George's now have a half a length lead over Kingston. Headington continue to scull nicely in the lead, a good 2 lengths ahead of St George's. Behind Kingston we have St Edward's School, probably a 1.5 lengths down, who probably left it too late now to get into the medals.
And as they come towards the line now, it's Headington School maintaining this lead, and what a battle it's been now for that silver medal in this J16 Double Sculls Final A. Kingston in the red in the middle of the lake. St George's College on the far side in lane 1. St George's lift their rate of striking. They won a medal yesterday in the champ doubles. They're going for one better today. Looks like they moved into silver medal. Started to overlap with Headington as well. Headington maintain their lead in the gold medal position. It looks like St George's now will take silver. Kingston Rowing Club will take the bronze. And then we've got going over the line now St Edward's School Boat Club and Coleraine Grammar School. And then Trenton Boat Club, very well sculled in that final A of J16 Double Sculls. We wait for the official result.
Yes, didn't Headington do well, but St George's, that final attack just a little bit late. Headington were deceptive. I thought that the very clean catches, to me, didn't look as long as some of the other doubles, but it was clearly effectively moving the boat because they stayed in front all the way. Slight scare from St George's at the end, but Headington take that first position with St George's College A in second and Kingston Rowing Club A taking up the bronze position. Yeah, really good.
And unofficially now, it was St Edward's School in 4th place, Coleraine Grammar School from Northern Ireland in 5th, and Trenton Boat Club A Crew in 6th.
Just a short announcement in between races. If you want to pick up a regatta program and you missed doing so earlier, you can pick them up at a massive discount now at £1 each. If you go over to the Eton College Boathouse area there, they're selling off those final programs if you missed out earlier in the day.
And just official announcement of that A final J16 Double Sculls. Headington were gold medalists, St George's College were silver, and Kingston Rowing Club took the bronze medal.
Right, back down to the course, and on the start we've got race 354 Championship Doubles. This is the B final. Great Marlow School B in lane 1. Hinksey Sculling School in 2. In 3, Emmanuel School. In 4, Twickenham Rowing Club A. In 5, Tideway Scullers School B. And completing the lineup, Walton Rowing Club B in lane 6. We'll take you over to the cars now.
The story of this race really has been Walton, who've been out in front all the way and at one point had a couple of lengths clear water over the rest of the field. But what's been fascinating is that middle 500 where the crews behind, who were really quite neck in neck, have just started to open up a little bit of a gap between themselves. And what it's meant is that Tideway Scullers, who were back in a fight for second, are now challenging Walton. And as I speak now, you can see that clear water is just disappearing fast, isn't it, Max?
Yeah, Walton had maybe 2 or 3 lengths of clear water at 7:50 in, and it's just evaporated now. Tideway have come back, and they've come back to almost half a length, only half a length behind Watford B.
Yeah, well, I mean, absolutely. Walton are looking absolutely tremendous and have been all the way through. But Tideway Scullers have just got something else in the tank, and up goes the rate. Looking across, they know they're chasing them down, and when you've got the sort of scent of the wind in your nostrils into the last 300 metres, that's an extremely powerful weapon. The bowman of the Tideway Scullers crew just looks across to his left, he's seen Walton, and they're now going stroke for stroke, and I think Scullers may well have this into the last 250.
Yeah, this is incredible. I think Tideway are going to row through Walton. I don't know what they called at the 1,000 metres, but they just suddenly, their strokes just got so aggressive, and they just really brought the weight up maybe 2 or 3 pips, and Walton just had nothing to contend with that.
And that is my performance of the day so far from the races I've seen. That has just been a tremendous bit of sculling. It takes an awful lot of mental fortitude when you're that far down to think, you know what, we've still got this if we wanted. And to execute the plan as they did in the second half of that race, that is tremendous stuff. I mean, it's not over yet. There's 200 metres left to go, and let's see what happens over the closing stages.
And absolutely, and over the closing stages, that battle for the first place is between Tideway Scullers in the red and orange, Walton Rowing Club on the far side in the hoops shirts at the moment, and it's Scullers who hold on to about a half a length lead now as they row through Walton. Twickenham put a good battle in there and closed the gap down also. Twickenham went over in third. And on the far side then we had Great Marlow School Boat Club, then Hicksey Sculling School and Emmanuel School crossing the lines in 5th and 6th. So a very, very good race indeed, and a storming finish there by Tideway Scullers School in that championship double sculls B final.
Yes, Walton had it all their own way really for most of the course, kept their cool, but I think probably Scullers just had a little bit more in the tank, and that final end spurt just managed to draw them through Walton to take the gold. So Scullers were in first, Walton in second, and taking up the third position was Twickenham Rowing Club.
And unofficially in fourth place, Great Marlow School Boat Club, then Emmanuel School Boat Club and Hicksey Sculling School.
Right, back down the course. Race 355. Championship doubles, the A final, the big one. Tideway Scullers School A in lane 1, Gloucester Hartpury A in 2, Lee Rowing Club A in 3, in lane 4, Henley Rowing Club A, in lane 5, Leander A, and in lane 6, Leander B. We'll take you over to the cars now.
So here we are in the A final for the championship double, and we're past halfway, approaching the 1250 meter mark, and Leander A with Tim Eilers has maintained a strong lead. Second and third you've got Henley Rowing Club and Lee duking it out. Now I had I was fortunate enough on Tuesday night to witness Henley out on Henley Reach training for this, and they were all jolly fast, especially when they're bearing down on you, and they've now borne right past Lee Rowing Club, doing an excellent job. There's been a jostle for a while, but they've now snuck out to about half a length lead, but Leander A continuing to remain strong. Leander B now actually starting to make a move to see if they can take third, but at the moment still in fourth, half a length behind Lee, just about an inch of overlap with Henley Rowing Club. Henley Rowing Club continuing to push it out. Simon?
Yeah, the Leander crew of Tim Elias and Miles Devereux looking really, really good out front now. Tim Elias has had some superb boat speed in the small boats this season, winning the Junior Sculling Head by 15 seconds. So some real pedigree in this boat. Also, Miles has just come back from representing Great Britain in Munich. So the two Leander guys really showing their class now with a good 2 lengths lead at the 1500 metre mark. The tussle between Henley and Lee certainly now seems to be going Henley's way, with Henley 3/4 of a length out and just stretching, and Lee just need to watch out for that bronze medal position with the Leander B crew over here in lane 5, just 1/4 of a length behind now.
Yeah, I think Lee have swapped tussles. You've got Henley in strong second place now for in the silver medal position, 1 length ahead. Leander B, I think, have started to sneak ahead by a canvas over Lee. Leander B really making a strong push for it. They are definitely now ahead of Lee, looking like they want to challenge Henley Rowing Club, but we're entering the last 250 meters here. It's going to be difficult to take that. Leander B not giving up. Leander A just continuing to stretch out, now in the lead by 2 lengths. Leander B continuing to do it, maintaining their bronze medal position, but challenging Henley and challenging them hard for a silver medal. I think this is
I think you're right, certainly.
And up in the tower as we take this race to the finish, Leander A maintain that gold medal position, but it's that silver medal position. Leander B and Henley are now level. Leander B at 39 strokes per minute. Henley look across, they're pushing hard as well. Henley take the lead again. Leander B wind up again, and as they go towards the line, Leander A takes the gold medal, but who takes the silver? Leander B or Henley? We leave that to the judges. What a race in this Championship Double Sculls A final. Across the line in fourth is Lee, and in fifth it's Tideway Scullers School. And in lane 2 there in sixth place it would be Gloucester Hartbury. We wait for the official result there of the Championship Double Sculls A final.
Well, Leander A certainly had it in the bag all the way, really. Just increased the rate a little bit to keep themselves in front. But B, what an end spurt. I mean, they were in the 40s then, and we don't know what the final result was. It was certainly a very small margin on the finish between Leander B and Henley. Fingers crossed. We're waiting for the final result. We've had a white flag from the umpire, so that's good.
Unofficial.
Unofficially, Leander Club A took gold, Leander Club B took silver, and Henley took bronze. There was 0.5 of a second in the difference between the silver and the bronze medal. So fantastic racing again from all these doubles in quite difficult windy conditions.
So the next race is already coming down the course. It's the B final for the championship singles. We've got an 8 sculler lineup. Benjamin Norman from Torquay Tarn in lane 1. Tristan Grange from Leander C in lane 2. Ewan Turnell for Henley Rowing Club E in lane 3. Edward O'Neill for Sir William Borlase's Grammar School Boat Club B in lane 4. Luke Marshall, Henley Rowing Club D in lane 5. Luca Ferraro for Lee Rowing Club in lane 6, Solomon Hewitt for Christchurch Rowing Club A in lane 7, and Joe Willis for Leander B in lane 8. So there's our full lineup. Looks like they're coming up through 500 metres, I believe this is. So still early doors in this B final for the championship singles, containing places 7 through 12 in the total lineup. Looks like a good start here for Solomon Hewitt for Christchurch Rowing Club A. He's certainly gotten out to a very good lead, and let's catch up with our commentators following this race in the commentary car to bring us the latest of the action as they get into this second 500.
Well, you join us at about 600 metres in for the B final of the Championship Singles Sculls. The early leader is Solomon Hewitt from Christchurch Rowing Club, and a length behind him, well, the second and third places have been chopping and changing between Joe Willis for Leander B and Luke Marshall for Henley Rowing Club.
Yes, and I think it's been quite interesting, that battle for second place, because Joe Willis from Leander is currently occupying that position, but Luke Marshall from Henley was in that position for the first 500 metres or so, and although Solomon Hewitt's got himself a length on the rest of the field at the moment, he is being challenged by the sculler from Leander, and it'll be very interesting to see over the middle sort of 500 metres or so of this race kind of what happens. I always feel that's such a crucial period, only 2k race, and I think if we're going to see a move, I suspect we'll see one over the next 250 metres or so. The sculler from Torquay Tarn over in lane 1 having quite a good race as well, currently sort of battling with Luca Ferraro from Lee for 4th place.
Yeah, I was just going to mention Benjamin Norman from Tormentan. You know, not to be forgotten about in lane 1. He's kind of completely out of the race in terms of the distance over there in lane 1. He's probably not going to be able to see the leader, but he's only 2 lengths actually behind first place. So a lot can happen in single sculls. We're only at the 1,000 meters. Still got another the second half to go.
It's a real battle at the front now, actually, because although Solomon Hewitt had that length, it's now down to half a length, and the Leander Sculler is just being absolutely ruthless in each and every one of those strokes and trying to get himself back on terms and being quite successful at doing so. But the Sculler from Christchurch has seen that, he's looked across, he's raised his rate, but it was only for about 10 strokes or so, and although that maintained a little bit of a lead for a while, the Leander Sculler's just got a little bit more out of every stroke at the moment, and if this continues, he'll get that bow ball ahead in the next 20 or 30 strokes. It's whether Solomon can kind of just see that and hold it and try and keep him in that position at the moment.
Yeah, that race for third place as well, Luca Ferraro for Lee in lane 6, just taking a look over his right shoulder at Luke Marshall in lane 5, and he's brought it back to almost a canvas, I think, to about 3 feet now for that third position, and also on in lane 1, Torquentar and Benjamin Norman is still up there in contention for third place. He's still in contact with Henley and Lee. I think it's only about half a length back for him to make up.
Hewitt and Willis going for it now. They've got clear water over the rest of the fields, 34 strokes a minute from both of them, and the Leander Sculler's not quite got that lead yet, but in the next 2 or 3 strokes he may well do so. It's very, very close indeed. Extremely exciting into this final 500 metres, and it's anyone's game. Has Solomon Hewitt gone out a little bit too fast at the start? Has he got enough left over this last 500? Is the relentlessness of Joe Willis's attack over that middle 500 going to harm his chances? It's neck and neck.
Yeah, it's stroke for stroke. You just can't distinguish the two. I think they really are bubble for bubble still with each surge. And it has Lee who has taken third place over Henley. It's now half a length up for Luca Ferraro over Luke Marshall. So he did put a bit of a push in there just before the 500 metre to go mark.
It's so exciting seeing 2 single scullers just going neck and neck down a course, and one will look across and then the next stroke the other person will look across as exchanging glances, and it's just down to them. There's no one else in the boat, there's no one else who can do anything about your race in a single scull. If you want to get ahead, you've got to make it happen, and that's exactly what Joe Willis has done over that middle section of the race. And with 250 metres left to go, he's now got a half a length lead on the sculler to his right hand side, and can he just maintain that? That will be in his mind at the moment. Just keep it here, just hold the position, and he's just seen Christchurch Scullers just lifted the rate there. Can he hold him off?
Yeah, it's that strong sit back from Joe Willis in Leander boat, which is quite characteristic of the Leander rowing style, and it's just sitting upright, which is good in the tailwind. You want to sit up nice and strong, get that leg drive on. I think Hewitt has just taken the rate up a pip or two, and he's taken back a foot on Joe Willis in the last 5-6 strokes, and these two crews are about 2 or 3 lengths clear water ahead of the boats behind.
Coming up to the line then, an amazing race. Joe Willis, he's going to hang on to the win here in the B final for the Championship Singles Sculls Cup. He takes the win here ahead of Solomon Hewitt despite an amazing sprint finish. We've then got Luca Ferreira, Luke Marshall, Ed O'Neill ahead of Benjamin Norman, and then Ewan Turnell and Tristan Grange. Tight conclusion there to the B final of the Championship Singles. It was so close, but what a sprint finish from Joe Willis, sprinting up ahead of Solomon Hewitt. He had something else left in the tank. He found that extra gear for Christchurch Rowing Club A, tried to move back through Leander, didn't quite have the power to the line as Joe Willis for Leander B won that B final for the Championship Singles. Next race on the course then is due off in just a few moments' time. It's the A final for the Championship Singles. So this A final for the championship singles, you can see them getting themselves ready up there on the start. Those tense few moments of silence before they get unleashed on this 2,000 metre course. Notts County Rowing Association's Finn Larkin in lane 1, Ryan Spellman for St Michael's Rowing Club Ireland A in lane 2, Paul Phillips for Agecroft in lane 3, Joseph Adamson for Chester Street Amateur Rowing Club A in lane 4, Alexander Milne for Leander A in 5, James Ford for Nottingham and Union in lane 6, Brett Taylor for Rob Roy in lane 7, and then completing the field, Julian van Gelderen for Windsor Boys School A in lane 8. They're off to a quick and clean start. Looks like a good fast one for Julian van Gelderen on the near side of this picture here. Going off with Brett Taylor for Rob Roy. Brett Taylor won the first AB semi-final for the championship singles that we watched earlier on this afternoon, and he's making a good go of this start again now. 250 metres in, he's pushing out to about a foot up on his closest contender, Julian van Gelderen. But it's still early days at the moment, 250 metres in, so we're going to find out how this race develops with our commentators following alongside with this great side-on shot.
Now with the A final of the championship singles sculls, and it is the sculler from Rob Roy in lane number 7, Brett Taylor, who's made a fantastic start of it ahead of Windsor Boys' Julian van Gelderen in lane number 8, who sits half a length behind. Over on the far side of the lake in lane 3, Paul Phillips of Agecroft are here running up with the big hitters in this championship single final, where we've got so much calibre. Sat back and forth, we have one of the favourites for this event, in fact, from Chester Street, Joseph Adamson. He went to the Junior World Championships in the double scull last year, so looking to perform here well at the National Schools this weekend. But at the moment, sitting out of a medal place, Ken.
Definitely, and I'm looking across there, and it's Finn Larkin as well from Notts County Rowing Association. Got a really good start indeed, settled into his rhythm, and he's actually challenging for the 3rd place at the moment over Joseph Adamson from Chester Street. But out in front at the moment, the lead has just changed to Julian van Gelderen, who is from Windsor Boys. He's just taken a lead over Brett Taylor from Rob Roy. And how do you see that panning out at the moment, Camilla? It's looking very good.
Yeah, and I think having seen both of these semi-finals earlier on today, Rob Roy, really strong start, Brett Taylor just taking it out and looking to lead from the front, but that early burst of power just isn't enough to maintain a win in this single sculls. So often the boat speed changes so quickly, and I think that's what Julian van Gelderen from Windsor Boys has done beautifully well, is he's just settled onto a faster cruising pace that has taken him now up to half a length over Rob Roy next to him in lane 7. Also, with a great change of boat pace in lane 3, Agecroft now looking to pull up alongside Rob Roy to challenge for the silver medal, but it's early days yet in the single sculls. As I've just mentioned, these small boats change speed so quickly, and it's very rare that at 500 metres in we get the same finishing order, because it's all tightening right up now in the middle of this race.
And we look across the lake again, Joseph Adamson and Alexander Milne. Alexander Milne from Leander A. You've got Joseph Adamson from Chester Street. They're now challenging for that 3rd medal position as well, as they start to overhaul Paul Phillips from Agecroft. On the far side, Finn Larkin again still maintaining his challenge, but just falling away at the moment as the scullers in the middle of the lake start to now challenge for the medal position. So Paul Phillips from Agecroft in 3rd, half a length down from him is Joseph Adamson from Chester Street, and then a 3rd of the length from that, Alexander Milne from Leander A. And as they push on together and battle for that bronze medal position, they start to overhaul Brett Taylor from Rob Roy. So a very, very good sculling race in shoe now as we approach the 12:50 mark.
This is very, very exciting. The pack really closing up now. If I look across the lake, I can see maybe 5 sculls in contention for the medals, potentially even 6, in fact, out of this 8-lane final. But I've been really impressed with the Windsor Boys sculler van Gelderen, who has just now pushed on even more in this last 250 metres to open up almost a scull's length of clear water between himself and Rob Roy, the early leader. Over on the far side, Agecroft continuing to move well and is now right up alongside, riding with Rob Roy in the silver medal position, and perhaps even sticking his bow balls ever so slightly in front. But what a move there, Ken. You called it, from Alexander Milne of Leander Club in lane number 5, who has pressed right up now to sit alongside these two scullers battling for silver. We've then got Chesterley Street's Joseph Adamson, currently sat out of the medals in 5th, but this is just extraordinary to see, this blanket of single scullers coming into 500 metres to go, and I can't pick where the medals are going to go here, Ken.
Absolutely not. In fact, as you just said, Julian van Gelderen from Windsor Boys, that magic push for 250 metres, he didn't want to be involved in the minor medals. He wanted that gold medal position, but for silver, bronze and 4th place, there's nothing in it. Rob Roy, Brett Taylor holds on to a foot-length lead now over Alexander Milne from Leander A, and that's closing all the time. Those bow bubbles are now level. On the far side, Paul Phillips from Agecroft, half a length down, but he's now starting to drop behind now into 4th place as the Rob Roy sculler Brett Taylor starts to respond to the challenge from Alexander Milne from Leander A. But they're all 4 of them still there as we approach the 250 metre mark to go. What a great final in this championship singles.
And a dominating performance here from the Windsor boys. Julian van Gelderen, who raced fresh from Essen at the European Juniors in his single scull, he's taken that experience now into this final for the championship singles here at the National Sculls, and with about 30 strokes to go, he's got about 2 lengths of clear water. I can't see anyone challenging him for this title here on the lake at Dorney. But this race for the silver medal, I'm so impressed with Brett Taylor of Rob Roy, who's held on. That burst of early speed is really going to be hurting him now as Leander Club's Alexander Milne presses him hard. He's just broken through into silver medal position. Has Rob Roy got anything left to respond to get himself back into that silver medal position?
And I think we're going to have to hand over to the tower for the final stages of this race.
So last 50 metres or so to go. Julian van Gelderen, he is absolutely blistering at the front of the field here. He's looking good for gold. Alexander Milne's gone up to 38 strokes a minute, desperately trying to take silver medal here. Along with him, Ryan Spellman and Paul Phillips. It's such a great race here. Gold medal's going to go to Julian van Gelderen. Silver medal is going to go to Alexander Milne. Bronze is just clung onto by Brett Taylor across the line. It was close though. I think he stopped rowing a foot or two before the line. Nearly had it stolen from him by Paul Phillips of Agecroft in what was an amazing sprint finish for him. We then had Ryan Spellman, and then it was tight for the small places here in the A final of the championship singles, won by Julian van Gelderen, Windsor Boys School A, ahead of Alexander Milne for Leander A, and then Brett Taylor for Rob Roy. That's your gold, silver, bronze in that A final for the championship singles.
Race 3, 4, 5 on your programmes. The Junior Under-16 Coxless Fours for the Windsor Cup is away up at the start. A quick call over in lane 1, Westminster School B. In lane 2, Abingdon School A. Lane 3, Walton Rowing Club. Lane 4, Eton College A. Lane 5, Westminster School A, and in lane 6, Shiplake College. This promises to be quite the exciting race, and we'll head over up the course to see how it's going.
We join the action just off the start for the A final of the J16 Fours, so the full 6-boat lineup. Westminster School B on the spectator side, followed by Abingdon A, Walton, Eton College A, Westminster School A, so Westminster with 2 crews in this race, and the 6-boat lineup complete by Shiplake on the island side, nearest the peloton of coaches who are following this and every race. The early leaders though, Westminster A by a canvas ahead of Shiplake, followed in 3rd position by Abingdon over on the far side, then Eton, Walton and Westminster B.
And Shiplake already just trying to get some water back from Westminster A, who are in the lead at the moment. They're currently trailing by around a canvas or a little bit more than that, but also on the far side we have Abingdon trying to make a comeback as well into that second place, and they're looking quite strong at the moment. They are trying to also claw some water back, but as we stand it's Westminster who are in the lead.
But they're having to work at it. I've got them at 37 strokes a minute, a pip higher than Shiplake at 36, Abingdon down at 35 and staying well in contention, as Jen has said, a clear third position at this early stage, ahead of Eton in lane 4, followed by Walton. Westminster B still in 6th position. But just look at the leading Westminster crew go. They've maintained that same rate, they've kicked in, and they've gone clear by 3/4.
Now, as we go through the 750 mark, as Robert says, Westminster in the lead, and it's very close for second at the moment between Shiplake and Abingdon. Really quite close to call. It looks like Shiplake are just nudging in the lead, and they are not going to give up without a fight. I mean, this race is far from over as we stand. They are going to try and just see if they can get something back from Westminster, who are ploughing away, and they are just starting to encroach on Westminster's space. They are pulling away still with plenty of room in first place, but they're going to have to watch out as we approach the halfway mark. We're going to see which crews are going to put a push on to see if they can change position at this stage.
Westminster kicked in just a short while back. I got them up at 38, and that looks enough to break them clear of second place Shiplake, who have responded very nicely. They want to maintain the overlap because it's a physical and a psychological contact that puts them in contention for something special as the second half opens up. We've gone through the halfway mark, and Westminster have got clear water. Shiplake desperately trying to stay in contention. Abingdon taking an absolute flyer on the spectator side, and that pressure from the leading trio men means that they have pulled right clear of 4th placed Eton.
And Shiplake keep looking over to see where Abingdon are in 3rd place, but it's really looking neck and neck for that silver medal position at the moment. Still Westminster getting clear water away now from the 2nd and 3rd crews, but it's looking like a really great race. It looks like 2nd place is going to be a cracker of a finish.
Yeah, I think the 3 medalists have been sorted out 1250 metres in, but the colour of those medals might change because Abingdon are coming on very strongly indeed. Little glance across from the Shiplake 3-man just to see where those guys are, because they're way over on the other side of the course, and in a Coxless race where one athlete steers the boat with wires attached to his foot, it means that he has to concentrate on 2 things at once, and when you've got 2 crews level pegging on opposite sides of the course, then one can creep up unawares on the other. But striding out of the head of the field, Westminster are looking in superb form. Their heads are up, strong and confident, 3/4 of the way into this A final for J16 fours, and they now lead by 2 lengths in the gold medal slot.
And that is Westminster A. We do have another Westminster boat, of course, in this race, trailing at the back of the pack. Their colleagues striding ahead now in first place. They cannot possibly be caught by now, but still for silver it's neck and neck pretty much between Shiplake and Abingdon. A really close one to call, Robert. I wouldn't want to say who my money's on.
But just look at Walton. Have finally woken up to the fact they've got an A final on their hands here, but they are running out of water. They've broken ahead of Eton and are trying to make strides in chasing down 3rd place Abingdon, who after that push as the second half opened up have now slipped back against the onslaught of Shiplake on the island side. We're into the 250 metre zone. The lane marker boys change to red to indicate that this A final is almost over, and Westminster are going for a Boathouse finish. They've wound the rate up yet again now. I've got them at 39, sitting on that 2.5 length lead. Shiplake striding out, another glance across because they want to be determined to stay ahead of Abingdon. Desperate measures from the men from Abingdon on the spectator side, but it's too little too late. We're inside the last 100 metres, and Westminster, who have dominated this A final of the J16 Falls throughout this race, stormed down to the line to take the gold medal. Shiplake, who've had a great regatta, claim another silver, and Abingdon just hold on to bronze ahead of Walton.
Fantastic finish to that race there. Very convincing performance by Westminster, as they were in the 16-8s category yesterday, so they were in the 4s today. Westminster then take the gold, and it's the medals are being decided between Shiplake and Abingdon in 2nd and 3rd spot. A really cracking race with some fantastic performances going on.
Next race coming down the course, it's the B final now for the J16 girls quads. 6-boat lineup here. We've got Wallingford Rowing Club B in lane 1, Headington School A in lane 2, York City in lane 3, Henley Rowing Club B in lane 4, Lady Eleanor Hollies in lane 5, and Marlow Rowing Club in lane 6. Our commentators are following this race. We've got Camilla and Ken. Camilla, who's your money on?
Probably with Marlow at the moment. Henley B have had a fantastic start in lane number 4. They've got out the blocks and maintained a heady rating of 36-37 all the way until 7:50 gone, and they are still in the lead by about a canvas over Marlow, but Marlow creeping back ever so slightly with every stroke. LEH have stuck up with these two crews as well. They're about half a length off the pace for the lead, and York City as well in lane number 3 also cruising at a really good running race pace. Ken, you were saying and you were complimenting how well they were rowing.
Yes, I thought as they went off, they got dropped off to start slightly, but then they got into their race pace, and with their boat speed at the moment, they're gradually creeping through on the 3 quads in front of them, and it's Henley maintaining that lead of a canvas over Marlow, who in turn have 3 feet over LEH. But if you look at the York City crew, they've got a half a length now overlap with LEH, and it's going to be soon that they will be level with them with 12:50 gone, and it's a very good final indeed. And now LEH, notice York have come back and started to lift their rate. Marlow now dropped back into 3rd place, and now York City are level with Marlow. And so as we move on now past that signal and to the 1500 metre marker, Henley maintain half a length lead, but there's 3 boats now for this 2nd, 3rd and 4th places, Camilla. I don't know if Marlow, your money might be worth.
Well, we'll soon see. It all will come down to the sprint as this 4-boat race for the win comes through to 500 metres to go. It's still half a length to Henley, but if anyone's starting to move well now, it's the crew from LEH in lane number 5. Their bow balls I can just see lifting out of the water and pushing themselves onto the 2-girl of the Henley Rowing Club boats. Have Henley just gone too early, and what have they got left in the tank for the next 50 strokes or so? We'll have to see, but this is an absolutely phenomenal race. All bow balls from Marlow, LEH, York City, all coming through the buoy lines together, and they've got half a length to try and close down on Henley in lane number 4, and they've got about 450 metres to do it.
Well, I think York City are going to put in a very good challenge at the end. The bow girl looked across. She called for a lift from her crewmates, and that's put them only half a length down on Henley, who are now holding on to a 1/4 of a length lead from LEH. Marlow starting to drop back slightly now as those 3 quads now start to lift and push towards the 250 metres to mark to go, and it's LEH trying to now go back on Henley, but York City have got a foot lead over that LEH quad as well. And as we go into the red zone now, these quads will start to wind up, and in this B final it's going to be very exciting. Will Marlow come back? Will Henley hold on? Who will be in those minor places? Who will be over the line first? What do you think now, Camilla?
I think my prediction was awfully wrong, and it's a stunning turn for the books because Marlow and LEH were actually the fastest qualifiers through to this B final, and they're currently being led by Henley and York City. So I think in terms of in terms of form, this was very unpredictable, but it's been a weekend of unpredictable things going on. So this is a really great race now that's going to come down to the line between Henley and York City. York City throwing in a few extra strokes, and they're going to leave it down to the tower to tell you how that's getting on.
It's not just a few extra strokes, Camilla. They're at 46 strokes a minute. Where have they found that gear? They're going through Henley like they're stood still. They're absolutely level now. Coming to the last 2 or 3 strokes. Can Henley cling on to it? It's going to be on the surge of the stroke across the line. I think Henley just held that by a matter of inches ahead of York City. We then had third place, Lady Eleanor Hollis ahead of Marlow Rowing Club for fourth. And then coming in over on the far side of the course, Wallingford ahead of Headington for 5th and 6th in this B final for the junior J16 girls quads. An exciting conclusion there and a blisteringly quick sprint finish from York City.
Race 359 for the junior under-16 girls quadruple sculls. This is the A final. In lane 1, Wallingford. In lane 2, Bedford Modern School. In lane 3, Henley Rowing Club. In lane 4, Latimer Upper School A. In lane 5, Isle of Ely Rowing Club. And in lane 6, it's Tideway Scullers School. So, the A final. Let's go up the course and see what Robert's got to say about this one.
Now we take you to the final of the junior under-16 girls quadruple sculls, and it's been a great start to the race. At the moment, leading the pack is Henley Rowing Club, and in second place at the moment, Tideway Scullers in lane number 6. After that, it's a fairly tightly packed field for third place between Wallingford in the far lane, Bedford Modern School and Latimer, and trailing at the moment is Isle of Ely. But it's Henley who are striding out at the moment with a good length ahead of the second place boat, Tideway Scullers.
Very controlled race for Henley. Holly Cookson in the stroke seat, leading her crew at just 34 strokes a minute. That is 2 pips lower than the crews who are chasing Henley for gold. Wallingford on the spectator side, stroked by Fresh Sharp, and Tideway Scullers on the opposite side of the course, stroked by Zoe Sheska. But Henley now finding the gap between them and trailing Scullers, narrowing slightly as we approach the halfway mark. So that's the leading trio back in 4th position. Isle of Ely are just staying marginally ahead of Latimer, with Bedford Modern narrowly behind in 6th position. But Henley, as the second half opens up, they kick in yet again and are seeking to dominate the second half of this race.
They are, and they're creating plenty of space between them and the second and third crews, which is a fierce battle at the moment between Tideway Scullers and Wallingford on the far side over there. Henley doing so well, managing to get away. They're a good couple of lengths ahead now, and if they can maintain that, they should be able to enjoy this final and ride it out in style. But the race is on for second place.
Yeah, as the second half opened up then, so Henley just kicked in. They took the rating up from 34 to 36. That gave them a 2-length lead over the rest of the field. And believe it or not, they've actually been able to ease up the rate, because they're now in the confident position where they can just glance back at all the other 5 quads in this A final and match any challenge they might make as the second half progresses. But Scullers now coming under considerable pressure from Isle of Ely in the lane immediately to their right, and Isle of Ely pushing on so hard that they're now seeking to impact on the medal zone, staying ahead of Latimer. Still, it's Bedford Modern picking up the pieces in 6th position.
Yes, this race is certainly anything but done yet. Henley, of course, striding ahead, but that race for second place is really on, and for the bronze medal position as well, in fact. But none of the crews are after bronze at the moment. It's a fight for second place between Tideway Scullers, Isle of Ely and Wallingford.
Well, we're through the 1500 metre mark, and Henley still sitting on that lead, but the pressure from the chasing pack means that combined with the slightly lower rate from Henley, they briefly took it down to 34 again. Amazing to be leading an A final at this level, at that rate, and still looking so strong. But Isle of Ely are coming up so hard, and this is a great race for the minor medals here, because Tideway Sculls, who've been sitting in a clear second position throughout that first half, are coming under such pressure from Wallingford and Isle of Ely. Those three crews racing each other for silver and bronze, because surely, Jen, the gold for Henley was long since decided.
Well, it certainly looks that way. It would have to take disaster to prevent Henley from having a clear, confident, strong-looking win. But second place, Tideway Sculls really trying to stride ahead now so that they can get just a little bit of edge on the two crews which are also in contention at the moment, which is Wallingford and Isle of Ely. And Tideway Sculls just trying to nudge ahead, but they're really coming under pressure from the crew on the far lane in lane 1, Wallingford Rowing Club. But I think Tideway Sculls look like they're starting to edge ahead. If they can get some sort of a lead now and keep a hold of it, then they should just nudge ahead for the silver medal position. But really, I think it's still anyone in it at this stage.
100 metres back, Sculls kicked in at 39. That saw them draw ahead of Isle of Ely, who are now fading rapidly because Wallingford have moved right back into the picture. No doubt about the gold medalists. It's Henley take the gold medal J16 girls quad sculls.
And the hands go up for Henley, and they are absolutely delighted with that win. Second place, the silver medal to Tideway Sculls, and I'm fairly sure that third place was Wallingford in the end, but that was very tight indeed between them and Isle of Ely as they came up to the line. What a fantastic race.
Well, now we're going to move from sculling to sweep. Next race on the course, it's the B final for the Championship Girls Fours. We've got a 6-boat lineup here. We've got King's School Worcester in lane 1, Monkton Combe School A in lane 2, Canford School in 3, Latimer Upper School B in lane 4, Lady Eleanor Holly's A in lane 5, and Lee Rowing Club in lane 6. So this race, you can see, is already through 500, fast approaching the 1,000. So we're going to jump straight into the action with Camilla and Ken. Camilla, Canford, my old school, they're looking good there, but do you think they'll be able to get back into contention?
An emphatic performance here by the Lady Eleanor Hollis crew in lane number 5 for the B final of the Championship Girls Coxless Fours, and I'm sure this crew, following their performance in Championship 8s yesterday where they got a gold medal, were slightly disappointed to miss out on the A final for this event. In second at the moment, King's School Worcester, just tickling on the stern of LEH. They're trying to get overlap over in lane number 1, but currently sitting in second, a length up on Camford, a favourite of a certain person we've got in the tower who I know will be keeping a close eye on their performance. They sit in third in this B final at the moment, trying to hold off a challenge from Lee Rowing Club in lane number 6, who have been pressing I think they were going for a few bursts every few strokes. They keep pulling up alongside Camford and then dropping back again. Camford just with that more consistent pace in third. Lee in fourth. We've then got a fight going on between Latimer Upper School and Monkton Combe, just a length off the back of that battle for third and fourth. But this performance from Lady Eleanor Hollis, Ken, is just emphatic.
It is, and they went off a high rating of 38 and dropped down to 34 and then just kept it long, dropping in, squeezing on, and then levering the boat along, and the boat has lifted and surged now as it keeps on moving out further away from King's School Worcester. So yes, a very impressive performance by LEH, but looking back down the lake, there's going to be a good battle now for this third place. We mentioned Canford School, but also Latimer Upper B School. They've suddenly got their boat moving. They've actually got into a really nice rhythm through that second half of the race, and now they're starting to overlap with Camford School and with Lee Rowing Club. So I think they've got a good chance of squeezing through into third place and making Lee and Camford really race for it. But King's School Worcester on the far side hold on to that second place. Well, they're keeping it high, keeping it tapped along, and maintain their position away from Camford, Lee and Latimer Upper.
Oh gosh, and disaster there in the Lee crew. They were holding on for third place there, but stroke girl Anna May Knight just caught a boat stopping crab. The blade went behind her head, and now they're back behind Latimer and into fifth position. That was such a disaster. They were going really well, and really unfortunate there for the Lee Rowing Club crew. They're going to have to work hard to get back up into the position they were in alongside Camford, and that's opened the door for Latimer Upper School B in lane 4, who have now obtained that overlap with Camford. They're about a quarter of a length of overlap, and we'll have to see whether Ken's prediction will come true. And I think he's got a fine art for spotting a well-moving crew, as we've seen in previous races, and with 500 metres to go, they are motoring up alongside Camford. The 1-2 still remains the same. Lady Eleanor Hollis with a absolute double-decker bus of clear water between them and King's School Worcester, who have been moving well. These two crews well out in front, another couple of lengths between them and Camford, but here come Latimer, Ken.
Absolutely, and they maintain that push over the last 500 as well, and that boat speed has been maintained, and they keep on inch for inch, centimetre by centimetre, creeping through Camford School. And as we move towards the last 250, it's going to be a real push towards the line who makes that third place. King's School Worcester, really impressive though out there in lane 1. They got out there, kept their position, and they've kept away from all the battles behind them, but way out in front. The LEH crew has really impressed everyone who's been following this race. So LEH maintain that first position. King's School Worcester in second, and we watch the battle between Camford and Latimer Upper for the third place. We hand to the tower.
It's looking good for LEH out in front, 36 strokes a minute. They're going to be untouchable in the closing stages of this B final, passing the last 100 metres to go in this Championship Girls 4 event. Over on the gazebo side of the course, King's School Worcester looking good for second place, and then this tussle between Camford and Latimer Upper has really hotted up here. They're absolutely neck and neck. Camford have a canvas up on Latimer Upper, but Latimer Upper are really moving. We see LEH cross the line for the win. Coming in, King's School Worcester takes second. Latimer Upper have just moved up through Camford in the last 100 metres. It's amazing stuff here from Latimer Upper. They cross the line of canvas up on Camford for third place. Camford take fourth, and then Lee Rowing Club after that disastrous crab. They're coming in here for fifth, up ahead of Monkton Combe School A for sixth place. An exciting sprint finish here in the small final, the B final for the Championship Girls 4s.
And the Championship Girls Coxless 4s, race 360. This is for the Colts Cup, and it's the A final. This will be for the Championship Girls Coxless 4s, the A final. Godolphin School in lane 1, Putney High School in lane 2, NCRA, that's Notts County Rowing Association, in lane 3, St Michael's Rowing Club from Ireland in lane 4, Henley Rowing Club in lane 5, and Latimer Upper make up the field in lane 6. Let's go up the course and see what's going on.
Come back to the 2,000 metre start for the A final of Championship Girls 4s. We are already through the first 500 metres, and we have a tight lead from Henley Rowing Club in lane 5, marginally ahead of Latimer Upper School in the lane immediately to their left, and St Michael's Rowing Club Limerick on the other side. 3/4 of a length back in fourth position, Notts County, followed by Putney High School, and then trailing quite a distance, not having a great race here, Godolphin and Latimer.
Now, this promises to be a really exciting race, as these three first gold, silver and bronze medal positions as they stand are very tightly packed. But it is Henley Rowing Club who are edging into the lead by a canvas also over St Michael's Rowing Club and Latimer, very close together at the moment. It's going to be quite difficult to call, certainly as we go through 750 metres, who is likely to be pulling out. But Henley look to be pushing to just try and get that lead, which will just help them to feel a little bit more confident as we approach the 1,000 metre mark.
Yeah, this 4-stroke by Phoebe Fletcher, who's taking the crew away at 36, backed up by Carla Russell, Phoebe Snowden and Madeline Pollard, extending their lead marginally, but it's still very tight ahead of St Michael's, who've now moved into second place, stroked by Megan O'Byrne, backed up by Christine Cohen, Ellen Murphy and Ava Benson. But things looking very tight indeed. But now Henley just went in just about 6 strokes back. They kicked in hard to see off the Irish Challenge. Still staying there in third are Latimer, with Notts County making ground in lane 3.
This is where the crews will be wanting to shift it up a gear. It's going to be a case of who blinks first between lane 4 and lane 6. That's St Michael's and Latimer are still jockeying for second place, but it is St Michael's who are rolling into that silver medal position, and they are about half a length up now on Latimer. Still Henley in first, just trying to get a full length away from St Michael's, but St Michael's aren't done yet. They are going to be seeing if they can catch the leading crew.
Henley have eased up the rate a little. They've gone down to 34. St Michael's, for their part, maintaining the pressure at 36 and moving half a length up on Latimer. And this is looking dangerous for Latimer, because Notts County, 3 lanes over to their right, are making ground rapidly. They've built that challenge over the last couple of 100 metres and are now looking set to steal the bronze medal slot from Latimer.
Yes, I think Latimer really need to be careful here. They'll be watching Notts County's move, and they have pushed on to try and claw that bronze medal position back. They haven't quite got it over Latimer just yet, but they're not giving up. They're really going to be pushing on, because they've got everything to fight for in this race, where Henley still lead with St Michael's in silver medal position.
Yeah, well, Henley have taken the red down again to 33 now. This is an interesting manoeuvre, because it means that St Michael's have caught right up on them and have got a bit of an overlap on their stern end. And I might have thought that Henley would be looking to nail this one at this particular stage in the race, because we're approaching the 1500 metre signal, and this is beginning to look dangerous. Henley really need to get the rate up if they've got anything left in their energy reserves. Did they front load this race? That is the big question, as St Michael's are coming back hard and have moved within half a length of the leaders. Latimer seem to be holding off the Notts County Challenge, so we've got a real race for gold and bronze, Jen.
I think St Michael's are taking Henley by surprise, actually. A stroke of Henley just having a quick look over to see where they are, and they're really wanting to try and show that they've got the power to overtake. Have they, though? It's going to be a real scrappy fight to get into that first position, but it is possible. They are clawing back inch by inch the water from Henley, but it is still Henley Boat Club who lead by around half a length on St Michael's at the moment.
Well, Henley now up at 36 finally, but St Michael's have been at 37 the last little while. We're moving into the last 250 metres. Once again, Latimer try and take up the rate, and just look on the spectator side. It's Godolphin and it's Putney High School who are trying to overhaul Notts County for 4th, and they could put in something startling inside the last 200. If St Michael's know it's now or never now for gold, but Henley hanging on by half a length.
Putney High School really trying to edge back to see if they can manage to get anything from this race in terms of medals. St Michael's are not managing to get that lead at all on Henley. They're dropping back now. Henley leading by around a length as we approach the finish line.
Putney High School really storming, and they've taken the bronze slot from Latimer. It's Henley by half a length down to the line ahead of St Michael's, with Putney taking bronze.
What a fantastic finish to that race, and I'm not sure the girls in the third place position from Putney know they've won yet. Oh, now they do, and they celebrate. And what a fantastic race for bronze that was. A really fantastic performance by Henley. The hands go up, they are absolutely over the moon. What a wonderful end to a race that was. And there's another race already on the course, so we'll head back up there to see what's happening with race 362, the Championship Girls Quadruple Sculls, and this is for the B final for the Sheriff Cup. In lane 1, Hinksey Sculling School. In lane 2, Monmouth Comprehensive School. In lane 3, Latimer Upper School. In lane 4, Marlow. And in lane 5, Glasgow Academy Rowing Club.
We're now riding with the B final of this Championship Girls Quads event through halfway. It's Marlow Rowing Club in lane 4, who after last year's silver medal in this event will be very disheartened to be in the B final, but they are making the most of it. 3/4 of a length up on an emerging Latimer Upper School. Again, another school that we see so often performing well in this Junior Quadruple Sculls event, and it just goes to show you the calibre that we've got all the way through these finals. And Latimer now almost up to half a length off the lead, with Marlow still out in front. Glasgow Schools, who were alongside Latimer, just dropping off the pace there. I can see Ian Summerside riding alongside them, and he will be willing his girls on to keep pushing with the pace, clinging on to that Latimer Upper School crew to take them through with the pace of the race. But we've got 750 metres to go now, and do you think Latimer can catch Marlow, Ken?
I think they're going to make a very good race of this first and second place, but I think Glasgow Academy actually are being caught very rapidly by Hinksey Sculling School over in lane 1. Monmouth Comprehensive School are just staying half a length down behind them. Hinksey made a major push at 1k and started to challenge now for that third place, and I'm going to watch to see if they can move through and start to challenge even for the silver medal. But I think Latimer and Marlow just going to battle it out all the way, half a length, but on their own on the far side. Hinksey Sculling School, I think, will make the third position in this B final.
But this Marlow crew have seen the danger coming from their right-hand side. They'll be able to see Latimer Upper in lane 3 that have held at half a length now. We've got 500 metres to go, and Latimer's push has finally come to an end as they hold at half a length back on the Marlow crew in the lead. Marlow are a very experienced crew, and they will know now what they need to do to keep themselves in front, to cross the line in first, to put them into the 7th overall in this Championship Girls Quads event, and that's the best that they can hope for in this B final.
But I think, as you were commentating there, that Latimer put a push on and started to raise their rate of striking, and I think they started to close Marlow down. That made Marlow now kick again, and they're starting to push away again, but Latimer started to challenge them. Glasgow Academy also, they looked across and saw Hinksey's challenge, and they started to raise their rate by 1 pip and started to move away from them as well. That took them closer now to Latimer Upper. So with Latimer and Marlow battling out in front, and for the 3rd and 4th places, it's Glasgow Academy and Hinksey Sculling School. Camilla, do you think that's going to stay like that?
I think it will. I've just seen Marlow again just go up 1 more pip on the rating, and they're now back out to almost 3/4 of a length. They're really trying to drop Latimer with all their might, and Latimer keep throwing it at them, but this experience, as I say, in the Marlow crew, look at this sprint now. They're almost going to try and get the length over them, and they're really pacing this well, Marlow. They're going to open out to clear water before the line. They've got about 10 strokes to go, and I'm going to hand you over now to the tower.
And Marlow really found something in the last 20 strokes of this race, just to hold off Latimer Upper, who've been coming at them all the way through the last 250 metres, just edging closer. It's about half a length. Marlow will hold off Latimer Upper to take the win, and it's extremely close, that 3rd place, my goodness, but Glasgow Academy will just take that, I think, from Hinksey. I mean, the buzzer went so close together, I couldn't call it. We'll wait for the official results, but I think it was Glasgow.
So we catch up now with the next race. It's the A final for the Championship Girls Quads. Six-boat lineup, we've got Henley Rowing Club in lane 1, Gloucester Hartbury in lane 2, Lee Rowing Club in 3, Headington School A in lane 4, Royal Shrewsbury School A in 5, and Tideway Scullers School A in lane 6. It's looking like a tightly packed field as they go through the 1,000. Gloucester Hartbury looking like they're just out in front according to the timers as they go through there, through that 1,000-metre mark. Let's find out how they're progressing. Robert, Gloucester Hartbury for the win.
We're now at the halfway mark, moving rapidly down to the 12.50 in the Championship Girls Quad Sculls A final, where Gloucester Hartbury are taking a half a length lead ahead of Henley, also being pressured by Shrewsbury in lane 5. In 4th place, we've got Tideway Scullers, followed by Headington and Lee.
And this is quite a tightly packed field at this stage. It certainly looks like it could end up being quite an interesting race. Gloucester Hartbury looking fairly comfortable in the lead at the moment, but they can't afford to let anything slide because Henley are hot on their heels, just trying to clear back some water and get a little bit further ahead in that 2nd place position. Also vying for silver medal position, we have Royal Shrewsbury, who are actually edging ahead now of Henley Rowing Club, who will be now in the bronze medal position. But it's a really tightly packed field, Robert. I don't know who my money would be on.
Well, Gloucester Hartbury seem to be looking confident at 33 strokes a minute, to 3/4 of a length ahead of the field. But just look at Shrewsbury fly, stroked by Olivia Moore. She's taking the rate up, and briefly she got their bow ball ahead of Henley, way over on the spectator side. But Henley responding nicely, coming back to stake their claim to the silver medal slot. But no doubt about the leaders, Gloucester Hartbury looking stronger and stronger with just 400 metres remaining.
Henley trying to put a little push on now just to see if they can come back at all on that gold medal position. It looks unlikely at this stage because Gloucester are striding ahead, looking really strong as we approach some of the marquees, looking strong, just about 3/4 of a length ahead of Henley at the moment. And then we also have Royal Shrewsbury, who will be fighting for that silver medal position. They haven't quite got there at the moment, but I suspect that they haven't given up yet.
Just look at Headington fly. They've woken themselves up to the fact they know they could be in with a chance of a medal, but only half a length to make up, and we are inside the last 150 metres as Gloucester Hartbury sit on that 3/4 length lead. Henley wind the rate right up on the spectator side, but they're not making any impact at this late stage. Now they're moving. Now they've gone because there's problems in the Hartbury boat. The bow athlete, a massive crab. Oh,
what an
such disappointment for Hartbury. And Henley take it away all the way down to the line. Another gold for Henley.
An amazing result for Henley Rowing Club there, taking the gold ahead of Royal Shrewsbury School for silver, Headington for bronze, and then just missing out after a disastrous crab. You can see the bow girl there is devastated in the Gloucester Hartbury boat, finishing 4th alongside Tideway Scullers School, and then in 6th place Lee Rowing Club. A result for Henley, they went up to 40 strokes a minute to push on through. A disastrous crab in the Gloucester Hartbury boat opened the door for them, and that also opened the door for silver and bronze medals for Shrewsbury and Headington. So an exciting conclusion, heartbreak for Gloucester Hartbury, but a great race all round in the A final for the Championship Girls Quads.
The B final of the Royal Engineers Cup, that's the Championship Coxless Fours on the course at the moment. In lane 1, Westminster School. In lane 2, Pangbourne. In lane 3, Latimer Upper School A. In lane 4, Shiplake College. Lane 5, King's College School. And in lane 6, it's Eton College A. And as they approach the halfway stage, let's go up and see what's going on.
So we are just saying what a cracking race this is in the B final of the Championship Coxless Fours. Not much to choose between all 6 of these crews. Eton College making the best of it at the moment in lane number 6 by half a length. But just behind them it is King's College School in lane 5, coming out of the massive boats that have been sandwiched together for the minor places. but going with them, Pangbourne over in lane 2, still clinging on, and they're in third by only a few inches behind King's College School in 5, but behind that, blimey, really nothing much to choose between Latimer and Shiplake right in the middle of the course. Can Eton hang on, Ken, do you think, for the win in this B final?
I don't think they will, actually, Camilla. From where I'm seeing, the crew from King's College School have really got their boat moving well, but with them it's Shiplake then look across and they're half a length down from them, but then Pangbourne, Latimer Upper and Westminster really battling it out, and as they do so, all of them are starting to overhaul Eton. Do you agree, Camilla?
I do agree, and I just seen the turn of speed there from King's College School in lane 5. That was quite remarkable, and they're now up onto terms. The stroke men just starting to pull alongside one another, and they'll be able to see that out of the corner of their eye. But what they might not be able to see is Pangbourne over in lane number 2. Well called yet again, Ken, because they are really pacing towards these two crews out up ahead. They want to get out of that pack, get up into the contention for the lead, and as we have about 10 strokes to go, I don't know whether they'll run out of water, and we'll throw you to the tower.
Incredibly close for third place here. I think Eton will hold on, but King's College are chasing them down. Pangbourne look like they might just have their bow ball out in front, but Westminster on the far side are pushing hard for that third place. I think Pangbourne have just held on there for third place, but it was a really close one. Fantastic racing in that B final.
Next race is already motoring its way down the course. It's the A final for the Championship 4s. 6-boat lineup here contesting for the Royal Engineers Cup. We've got St Edward's School A in lane 1, St Paul's School Boat Club B in lane 2, Radley College A in 3, Enniskillen Royal Grammar School Ireland A in lane 4, Royal Shrewsbury School in 5, and Westminster School A in lane 6. Let's find out how things are going. Robert, how are the conditions at halfway?
Well, it's quite blustery here at the halfway mark. You join us on the race number 365, the final of the Royal Engineers Cup. And as we approach the halfway mark, it looks like we have a lead, quite a confident lead actually, from Radley College, who are leading St Paul's School, and in fact St Paul's School in bronze medal position, and leading Enniskillen. It's very tightly packed actually, Robert, for silver medal position at the moment.
Well, St Paul's have a dominant lead in this race, just as they did in the Championship 8s at the final race of yesterday's programme. And behind them, it's Westminster hanging on to a narrow verdict ahead of Shrewsbury. But the fight for silver and bronze very tight indeed, because snapping on the heels of Shrewsbury, we've got Radley in lane 5, closely followed by Enniskillen and St Edward's in the outside lanes. 12:50 gone, St Paul's striding away.
And it really does look like it's going to remain fairly tightly packed for silver and bronze medal positions at the moment. As we've gone through the halfway mark, all of the crews putting a really strong push on to see what they can get from this race. Nobody is going to give anything up at the moment. It's a really exciting race.
Yeah, St Paul's, I thought they were going to try and see if they could break the field as the second half opened up, but they're being proved sadly wrong by Westminster, who've maintained contact on the stern end of their boat as the 1500 metre signal approaches. But Westminster themselves are facing a determined challenge by Radley, who've slipped through into the third position for the first time in this race. They've overhauled Shrewsbury by just over a canvas. Teddy's trying to come back into it on the spectator side, but it's still Enniskillen trailing the field. St Paul's still leading by a length, or just they kicked in, they upped the rate, and they have finally broken ahead of Westminster. This is a great race for St Paul's. I don't have the crew line up in front of me. Is it half the 8 that took the gold medal at the 8s yesterday? St Paul's will know, I don't, but they're moving away at 37, and inch by inch, stroke by stroke, they have opened up a little gap of clear water ahead of Westminster, who've had to respond, not because they can take the gold away from St Paul's, because they are facing such pressure from Radley. Westminster up at 41 with 200 to go.
And is it possible at all, Robert, that you think that they could claw anything back from St Paul's at this stage? Is it too late?
St Paul's, I think, have got this one in the bag. They've upped the rate to 38. Westminster continue the pressure at that fantastic high rate. Still at 41, but St Paul's holding them off at 38. And just look at Radley fly over on the far side, and Enniskillen coming right back into the picture. The battle for bronze is on. St Paul's having to work because once again Westminster take it right up all the way down to the line. Far too close for me to call.
So close across the line there. St Paul's, then Westminster, then I believe Radley by perhaps a bow ball ahead of Enniskillen. You can see there 0.2 of a second separating Radley and Enniskillen. Absolutely nothing in it. What a great comeback from Enniskillen. Not quite enough to get into the medals, but St Paul's School win that A final for the Championship 4s and the Royal Engineers Cup here today, ahead of Westminster and Radley for silver and bronze.
The B final of the Exeter Cup, that's the Championship Coxed 4s, is on the course. In lane 1, King's College School B. In lane 2, King's School Chester A. In lane 3, St Joseph College Ireland. In lane 4, St Paul's School BC A. In lane 5, Moncton Combe. In lane 6, King's College School D. In lane 7, Eton College B. And in lane 8, Royal Shrewsbury School A. And as they head up towards the 500 metre marker, let's catch up with our commentary team in the car.
We're now running with the B final of the Championship Coxed 4s, and a really gutsy start from Royal Shrewsbury School in lane number 8. They got out to a good breakaway of clear water ahead of the rest of the field before we'd even hit the 250 marker, and they're still out with clear water, but only just because emerging from the pack, King's College School in lane number 6. This is their D crew straight by Cameron Keller, and now half a length up on a 6-boat tie for the minor places, maybe with the exception of King's College School B over in lane 1, who are just out of that running pace at the moment as we go through 750 metres gone. But a really nice settled rhythm here coming from the King's College School crew sitting in lane number 6. They've with every single stroke that they take, they just settle a little bit more, give themselves a little bit more boat speed, and they're now charging to try and take a length out of the 3 crews battling it out for third, Ken.
Absolutely, and those 3 crews are Eton College B on this side, and on the far side King's College School, King's School Chester, actually in lane 2, and then in the centre of the course it's Moncton Combe School as well. So 3 crews there battling it out for third place, and as they do so they start to actually close down slightly. King's College School D crew in lane 5, but King's College School's trying to push back again as well. Eton starting now to make a move on them, and that's taking Moncton Combe with them as well, and on the far side King's School Chester, but not out of it either St Joseph's College from Ireland, and also in the centre of the course St Paul's School Boat Club A. King's College School, a B crew in lane 1 off the pace at the moment. So good battle now for third place, and I think it's going to be a good battle for second as well, Camilla.
It is, I think, even for first, in fact, Ken, because with all of those pushes and that nice speed that we said that King's College in lane 6 had, they've now managed to reel back in overlap over the Royal Shrewsbury School that had that breakaway in the first 250 metres. They've perhaps expended everything that they've got in the tank, because there's now a quarter of a length overlap between them and King's College School in lane number 6, who are going for more with every single stroke, and this being a coxed event. The cox of the King's College School crew will be able to see Royal Shrewsbury to his right, but it will be a blind race for the Royal Shrewsbury School cox, who won't be able to see this move coming from King's College School. It's now only a quarter of a length to Royal Shrewsbury School. That move from KCS just pulled them up another 3/4 of a length on this crew, and we've still got another 500 metres to go to see what this sprint can do.
Absolutely. But for third place, there are 4 boats within a canvas of each other for third place. Eton College Boat Club and Moncton Combe and St Joseph's College from Ireland, and on the far side King's School Chester. So a good battle for first and second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth also. Every boat's just a canvas difference between them all. And as we go towards the 250 metre mark, there's a great race coming towards you in the enclosures. Camilla, what do you think?
Yeah, we're just shy of the 250 metre to go marker, and it's going to be hurting for these two crews that have pulled up side by side. It's always a painful position when you've led out by clear water to be gained on and closed down by another crew who have now pulled up alongside you, and it's going to be really painful in the minds of these Royal Shrewsbury School boys, who I think are now just going to be taken on the next stroke by KCS in lane number 6, and the KCS boys know how it feels to be rowing really well. This will feel really good for them, rowing through another crew, and I think that energy is going to take them through to the line in first position. But it's going to be up to the tower to talk us through this battle for third, because we've got 4 crews side by side. What a blanket finish this is going to be, Pete.
A fantastic finish to this race, and what a performance by KCS over the final 250 to row down Shrewsbury there. Are they going to hold on to that? I think they are, but it's tight between Eton College and Moncton Combe there for third place. Extremely close as they come up to the line. Here come KCS in first place. Over they go. They're going to take the win. Shrewsbury will have second place, but who's going to take the third place? It's going to be down to the photo finish there. That is extremely close indeed, and I don't think we can call that between those two crews for the bronze. Very, very close. Eton maybe just holding on to that, but we'll wait and see for the official verdict.
Well, folks, we got one race to go. The last race of the day, the last race of the 2019 National Schools Regatta. It is the A final for the Championship Coxed Fours for the Exeter Cup. An 8-boat lineup. We've got Latimer Upper School A, Hampton School Boat Club A, Abington School A, St Paul's School Boat Club B, Shiplake College, Monmouth School Rowing Club, Eton College A, Radley College A. A big 8-boat lineup you can see battling their way through 750 metres here in the last race, currently being led by Eton College A. An impressive performance from them through. We've got Robert Trahan-Jones and Jen Bartram. Guys, the race is all yours.
So to the final race of the day, and indeed the final race of the regatta here at National Schools 2019. A fitting climax to the whole regatta. It's the A final of the Championship Boys Coxed Fours, and Eton had this race well in command at the halfway mark. They've dominated the first half, and they have a tiny gap of clear water ahead of second placed Shiplake, with Monmouth pressing hard in bronze.
Yes, Eton have been edging ahead stroke by stroke over the first half of this race. They'll be looking to continue that confident lead and just increase that gap that they have from Shiplake in second place. But it's looking like a really strong field at the moment. Gold position is Eton College, then Shiplake, and closely followed by Monmouth School. But Monmouth actually trying to just get a little bit back from Shiplake. They're trailing by about half length at the moment. They want to see if they can get anything more than bronze from this race.
And the best of the rest, Radley on the island side. They in turn are followed by Abingdon, who maintain just over a canvas advantage ahead of Hampton, followed by St Paul's and Latimer on the spectator side. But nothing looks set to dent this fantastic lead that Eton have set them. Guy Pooley, their coach, on his bike right next to our commentary car, is able to glance across at his crew and must be mightily pleased, because with 650 metres remaining, Eton are extending their margin of clear water, and Shiplake have gone for another push. They've seen that pressure developing behind them. They don't want to be caught up in a chase for silver. They really want to exert their authority and maintain a clear second place. But once again, they continue to be pressed by Monmouth, who've responded and come back on that charge by Shiplake.
Eton just need to keep their cool now in the lead as we approach the 1500 metre mark. There's still got water between them and Shiplake in silver medal position, but they will want to just hang on to that lead that they have. They don't really want to give anything more away at this stage, but they're looking confident, they're looking strong. A really great display of rowing here.
Yeah, Eton at their cruising pace, 35 strokes a minute. Shiplake really having to work it to maintain second. I've got them up at 37, Monmouth still at 36, and here comes Radley on the island side. An absolute stormer from the red and white blades. Not a high rate, but plenty of work, pushing out the finishes, and they've overhauled Monmouth for the bronze medal slot as we move down with just over 250 metres remaining.
They're getting the power on Radley. They're looking over at Monmouth with every stroke to see if they're just managing to nudge ahead, and they're staying there at the moment. Can they hold on to this bronze medal position as we approach the finish? It's looking really tight actually, and Shiplake need to watch what they're doing as well, because they're in silver medal position at the moment. Can they hold it to the finish?
Yeah, it's neck and neck for bronze, but no doubt about the gold medalist. Eton just hanging on to that clear water lead, but once again Shiplake have had to up the rate, because that pressure, that private fight between Monmouth and Radley meant that they've closed right up on the silver medal for Shiplake, who are staying 1/3 of a length up. We're running out of water here on the 2000 metre Olympic course. Monmouth regain the bronze medal slot. Down to the line, it's going to be gold for Eton. Shiplake hang on for silver ahead of bronze for Monmouth.
Amazing first three positions there. Radley take fourth ahead of Abingdon for fifth. It's tight for sixth and seventh between Hampton and St Paul's, and then coming in for eighth place, Latimer Upper School A. So folks, I hope you used your last opportunity to wear out your vocal cords with some good cheering in that last A final of the day, the last race here at the 2019 National Schools Regatta. An exciting conclusion finished up with the Exeter Cup A final for Championship Coxed. Fours won convincingly there by the home team here on their home water, Eton College A. Fantastic way to conclude what has been a great year for 2019 National Schools Regatta. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed it. We've had some fluctuating weather circumstances through the course of today. I think we could fairly call it, with a little bit of wind, a little bit of rain, but certainly hasn't troubled these excellent athletes who have trained for much of the year already to come here and compete, making memories that will last them for the rest of their rowing careers, and hopefully we'll see many of them come back next year and in years to come at National Schools Regatta. And of course we look forward to seeing many of these young men and women compete later on through the course of the summer at the likes of Henley Royal Regatta and some of the other big rowing events that we can look forward to through the rest of this summer. So my name is Peter O'Hanlon, and I've thoroughly enjoyed bringing you the colour and spectacle of this afternoon's racing with Tom Hill, my co-tower announcer. For the last session of racing, you've been listening to Ken Roberts, Camilla Hadland, Robert Trahan-Jones and Jen Bartram. On behalf of the whole race commentary team, we hope you've enjoyed the full weekend here at 2019 National Schools Regatta. There are still medals to be awarded, so do head over to the presentation stand just behind the finish line, where you can see these young men and women being awarded their medals for competing here this weekend. But that does bring the race programme to its conclusion. Hope you've enjoyed this weekend, and very much hope you'll come back to join us next year at the 2020 National Schools Regatta here too on Dorney Lake. So for the time being, it's goodbye for now. Hope you all have safe travels home, and wishing you the best of luck in the rest of your racing season. We'll see you next year.